This baby, let's go. We are live. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to Rep America. Got a great day for you today. Another day with Trump live. We have Trump kicking off the celebration for the state fair. So we're going to have Trump live in a little bit. I'm not sure exactly when he's going to come on. We never really do, but hopefully he comes on live pretty soon. And I also have today a special guest that's going to be joining us soon. You could probably see him on your screen there. What's going on, guys? Good to have you. Thank you for joining the stream. Hello, hello. We are getting started here just a moment, so bear with me, making sure we're live on all the different platforms, and we're good to go. There we are. All right. What's going on, Mike? We got our first comment already. The Democrats have made it official after the voting in New York. They really are the Socialist Party. They absolutely are. And we have the issue we have is from the last election, we had lots and lots of illegal immigrants pouring into our country, and they're voting for this type of thing. And we have a big problem with what I call political Islam, and the Socialist Party or the Communist Party. And it's interesting. You have the Democrat socialists who think they're using Islam. They think they're using Islam to improve their party, and Islam is using them to infiltrate the country and all of Western civilization little by little. And I've talked to you guys about this before if you're not aware of it. There is such a thing called a 100-year plan. And that is a real thing, and it's a real problem. We're 35 years into the Islamic Brotherhood 100-year plan, and it has been accelerated by the 4 years of Biden, who let tens of millions of illegal immigrants into our country. Again, guys, we have just got the stream started. Thank you for joining. If you just joined us right now, good to have you. We have Trump is going to go live. He's going to do a kickoff celebration. We also have we have a guest that's going to be joining us in a little bit. His name is Royce White. He's actually running for Senate. So we're very excited to have him on the show. And going to get to some of the comments here so far. And give me just a moment here. I think I have Royce White with us. Give me just a moment. All right. Royce, can you hear me? All right, let's see here. Give me just a moment, guys. I think we got Royce White with us. All right, guys, give me just a moment while I get us ready to bring on our guest. Welcome, guys. Good to have you. Good to have you. What's up, Jennifer? What's up, everybody? Good to have everyone. All right. Okay, we're ready to go. Royce, can you hear me there? Okay, guys, we're going to give Royce a moment until he's ready. And until then, I'm going to get to some of your comments here. Doug RG says, we need Islam out. And Mike also says, our enemy is very patient. The American people are not. The bodes well for are not that bodes well for our enemies. Okay, didn't get that, but yeah. So we just had some crazy
Can
election,
you hear me,
guys.
sir?
Oh, there you are. What's
You
going
hear
on,
me?
buddy? Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear
That
me?
that's the only issue. Let me see if I can fix this really quick. 1 second.
Take your time. So, guys, we just had a crazy election happen in New York, and it was just absolute bonkers. We have socialism, actually, what I should say is communism disguised as socialism, and it is, dude, it's winning elections. It's insane, absolutely insane what we're seeing happen. So we're just blown away by what they're doing, and the amount of people that want socialism for our country. Absolutely wild. All right, so let's take a look here. All right, bro, are you able to hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes, I can.
Awesome. All right, guys, let me get you on the screen here just a moment, guys. I got Royce White with me. He is now joining us. Give me just one moment while we get us set up here. All right, and there we are. There you are, brother. All right, so I got Royce White with. Let me just make sure my sound is good. Can you give me a little sound check?
10, 9, 8,
Oh,
7.
perfect, perfect,
Good.
perfect. All right, man. Good to have you. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm just going to kind of jump right in. I know you
Yeah.
got a lot going on, but guys, today I have Royce White with me. He's a former NBA player and is currently running for Senate. And the question is mass deportation the way forward? My guest today isn't just talking policy, he's running for Senate. Royce White has a stance on immigration you won't hear from your average politician. Let's get right into it. Royce, mass deportations, is this the way forward for America?
1000%. Is that a controversial position?
Well, if you ask me and a lot of my followers, not really, but a lot of America
Yeah.
is torn on this, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're just soft, right? I mean, they have no concept of history, and I don't think that people really understand the dangers of pluralism and multiculturalism and mass migration, especially mass migration that is almost explicitly used as an international weapon, and that's what we've gone through. Europe has already failed. I was saying the other day in an interview, I said the two universal basic standards of having a nation, a country that prospers is number one, you have a border that you defend. And number two, you don't normalize cutting off your son's penises, right? Because a nation should be, for its people's posterity, and you obviously can't have that if you snip half of your men. But it's the border part is the bigger piece, and this is exactly how the Roman Empire fell. And we at least those of us who know the history know well that the Roman Empire was defending too many military outposts. They had debauchery and corruption run through their legislative bodies, mainly the Senate, and they didn't keep a close watch or a guard on their borders and the pluralism that had overrun Rome, main city Rome. And, we're going through the exact same thing now. I mean, it's almost to a T, only many more illegal immigrants, foreign invaders, and much softer elected officials. I would venture to guess, you had some Romans there in the Senate who were pretty tough hombres, because they come from a time that was much closer to much more warrior like culture. So you had some real warriors in that Senate, even though they had given over to the trappings of political, the politics. But now we have people like, I mean, we have Ilhan Omar as a representative. It's like,
Right.
what is even
Yeah,
this?
it's absolutely
What is
crazy, and
that?
it's bro, it blows me away.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Europe, and a lot of us are on this. We understand that Europe may be too far gone when we speak about UK, France, a lot of the people that we talk to say, hey, look, this has gotten out of control. It's way too far gone. They've infiltrated way too deep. But
Yeah.
now, when we look at America, what do you feel about that? Do you feel like we're too far gone, or where are we at on that?
Close, very close. Yeah, Europe, and when you say too far gone, it's you know, you find yourself in a slippery slope because, you know, and we were an underdog. I love the UFC 250 event, and you know, it is a it should be remembered as a seminal moment in our nation's cultural history. You know, Justin Gaethje, eh, by all measures, one of the biggest underdogs in UFC history, right? In mixed martial arts history that night. It's our 250th, you know, birthday as a nation there at the White House. Just an incredible event, and he defeats all odds. And at the end, in the post conference interview, he says they asked him, you know, he was reading the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence in the Oval Office before he made the walk, and he said, you know, in 1776 we were the underdog. And I only say that because, you know, I have sympathy for Europe in that even if you're the underdog, you're never really out of the fight until you're, you know, until you're dead, you know, until the fat lady sings. And the fat lady has not sung on Europe, but she's getting warmed up, right? She hasn't
Right.
made her she hasn't made her her grand you know, performance yet, but she's certainly in the back behind the curtain getting warmed up there in Europe. And I just don't know if the Europeans have the will to overcome it. And I have the same concerns of us here in America. I wouldn't say that we're too far gone. I worry, do we have the balls to do what's necessary?
I worry the same thing, man. I saw not too long ago in UK, I covered it live where they were standing, they're starting to stand up for themselves finally. And it's great to see that. And when I think about us here in America, I mean, of course, we have the Second Amendment. So we have, a big, jump on them as far as
Yeah.
that goes, and if we wanted to stand up against that kind of thing. And I think we would be more likely to stand up earlier than them. I feel like they should have been doing this a long time ago.
Yeah.
This has been going for a while now in Europe, and has been a major problem. We're starting to see that here a lot, and we're seeing all these crazy things happen. We got people blocking, I mean, not normal things. We got people blocking streets, praying in the middle of the streets for what? I mean, that's not even normal in their own culture, in their own religion. They're doing it for a reason. They're doing it out here on purpose, deliberately. They're like, putting it in our faces. It's
Yeah.
almost like showing domination in a way.
Oh, for sure. It's called cultural intimidation is exactly what it's meant to do. And it's meant to say, you post enlightenment, watered down 501c3 Christians will not defend. You have no warriors left. And you know, with all due respect, because you have to respect your enemies and know your enemies. You just can't define yourself by your enemies because then you become your own worst enemy, right? And we've sort of done some of that. But you know, with all due respect, the Muslims have maintained a warrior-like culture to their religion and their faith practice. Whether we like it or not, whether we agree or not, it's a reality. And right now, they're just trying to call our bluff. That's why every time I see somebody out there in the streets and they're free Palestine or death to America, shut your stupid mouth, communist. You stupid gay
Yep.
communist, right? And it's
Yep.
like, what do you want to do? You want to go? You want to box? You want to fight? So I'm 6'8", 250, sorry, 6'8", 265. So I have a better time with those type of interactions. But I think our culture is just neutered, and we lack the cultural incentive to stand up for ourselves. And you know, we better get clear about that right now. Like Imam Dani, why would you ever give the world's financial capital, one of the greatest home field advantages of our nation, to a transgender communist jihadist? It's just absolutely suicidal. It's self-destructive and empathomanic is what I call it, to say the very least. If not collaboration, and that's really what it is for a lot of these leftists. They believe in the ideology, right? You gotta
Right.
see that the convergence of radical Islam and radical Marxism is the impetus, the impulse, the propensity towards suicide and self destruction. they are willing to both groups are willing to kill themselves in the interest of their political aspirations, and they will kill a nation, especially when the two come together and sort of team up or create an alliance. And if we don't want to fight both of them right here, right now, we're going to lose our country, and there's no doubt about that.
Now we have a you are a proponent of mass deportations, as we just talked
Yep.
about, and we had Trump trying to deport, but he's getting all kinds of pushback. Have you thought about like how we could go forward
Oh,
with mass
um,
deportations?
well, I'm crazy radical when it comes to this, and there are a lot of people to the right of President Trump. I would count myself as one of them. I'm much further to the right than President Trump, but I still support the president because I think he's in the best position to save this country. Now, his formation of foreign policy is different than mine, right? And
Yeah,
I'm not for this APAC bullshit, or this Israel lobby influence. And I think the president's starting to get fed up with it as well. I'm not sure why it's taken so long, but only he can answer that question. I still support him because he's the commander in chief, and right now he's in the best position to save this country. I'm much more radical than what's the political viable path to mass deportations. The president of the United States has to keep this country by force. That's where we are. You cannot, in good conscience, give a country back to people who recently, openly, brazenly bragged about letting in 15 million foreign invaders and made the claim that they're not illegal because this is stolen land. You cannot give a nation back to those people in good conscience. So the first thing I think he should do is just come out and say it. The quiet part, I'm not giving you guys the government back because you're traitors. And then now we can start and actually go forward with the mass deportations.
wow, that's a strong stance.
I mean,
Now,
Abraham Lincoln did it. He suspended habeas corpus in the interest of saving the republic. And I know a lot of libertarians and and constitutionalists won't like that answer, but I just asked them to do a litmus test. What would they need? It's the same thing I asked Minnesotan Democrats, people who vote Democrat in Minnesota. How much fraud would you need to see to not vote
yeah,
Democrat in this cycle? What's the number? Is it 100 billion, 200 billion, a trillion? If you're willing to let these Democrats oversee fraud to the tune of $1 trillion to push your mass migration initiatives and retain the right for a woman to kill her own unborn child. If that's your political gamut, then you're a traitor. And I don't really want to talk to you anymore. Either you're going
yeah.
to kill me or I'm going to kill you. That's kind of where we're at with things, just, logically speaking. And so I think the same thing for the president is like, and I say to libertarians and constitutionalists, what's the limit? What would you need to see? What would be the markers or indicators that a man, maybe not President Trump, but somebody, a leader, a benevolent king, for lack of a better term, because that's what the left likes to call it, right? But a benevolent leader would stand up and say, you know what, enough of this. Enough is enough. We're not letting in another 15 million foreign invaders. We're not doing vaccine mandates. We're not letting you give children hormone blockers or gender affirming transition surgery. We're not playing this game anymore.
Yeah.
What would you need to see? And I'm talking to our people. I'm talking to libertarians and the Republicans who are, fancy themselves constitutionalists. If you say that, they go, you can't fix the Constitution by breaking the Constitution. Okay, well, just tell me what you would need to see. And then, hey, if you have an answer, then fine, I'll hear that out. But I kind of think they have no limit. And that's what our society has become, where we are neutered. There is no outer limit that we'll put
There
up
is
with. So
none,
we
bro.
slowly just
I
fall off the cliff.
I was just thinking about this the other day. It's like there's literally I was like, what would it take for them to see? Like, what would they have to see? What would it take for them to like go? Wait, hold on, wait. I went a little too far. Wait a minute. And I thought about it. I said, dude, I don't think there's anything that I think they will make an excuse for anything that may happen.
Oh, there's no limit.
Yeah.
And
Um,
there's a corollary though. You got to understand, when we talk about borders, you know, eh, people tend to think of borders as superficial political constructs that are made by strong men about resources and land or money, political power. Borders have a much deeper spiritual meaning. Borders place a limit on man's unfettered ambition to be God. And a nation without borders, a nation that doesn't observe borders in both directions, is a nation without boundaries. A nation without boundaries tells you something about their morals. There is no limit. There is no boundary.
There's no
And that's
limit.
who
Oh
these
yeah, it's
there's no
yeah.
limit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely nuts. Now, I know from following you that you're very much America first, and my question is what are some ways that we can go about putting America first in your mind?
I think we should pull out of NATO. I think we need to get out of the Middle East. I think we let those two groups uh, team up and figure out their own sphere of the world. I think Europe should subsidize Israel, and I think Europe can subsidize its own defense. The fact you look at their fleet, the fleets across the individual countries, and it's an embarrassment to the NATO alliance. It's America. We are the NATO alliance. We provide all the logistical support. We provide the technological support. And you can make a perfectly good argument that we provide that support. We have a reverse vassal empire where we pay everybody else to protect them, so our own oligarchs can steal our tax money. Fine, if you want to make that argument, and there's perfect utility. The answer to that is pull the Jenga piece out of the puzzle. We're out of NATO. We're out of the Middle East. The Jews, the majority of the Jews who live in Israel, came from Europe. Europe can either take them back, or Europe can assume the responsibility of ensuring the security of Israel, and there's the peace. And I guarantee, as a big brother or a coach or a father, you have to know how to incentivize your allies, and I say that with air quotes. You have to learn how to incentivize your allies or teammates to fight on their own. Part of that is sometimes you got to throw them into a fight on their own, and they got to figure out a way to get out of that fight on their own. And I think that's what we should do right now to both Israel and Europe, is just push them on in and say, through the fiery crucible of self-preservation and survival, you guys will sort out your political corruption.
Now, if we did something like that, now as you're saying that, I'm just kind of thinking to myself, if we did that, it's very possible this kind of jihadi Muslim type of thing that's spreading across the world, I think it's already gotten a stronghold in Europe. I think it would probably get even stronger if we did pull out and back off and let them kind of, as you're saying, let them figure it out.
No,
Um,
I don't think so.
what are your thoughts?
I don't think so. I think the fact that we subsidize Europe and allow them to maintain their modern luxury, the relative luxury of modern life, on the back of the American taxpayer, has dampened their their alarm system to the threat, right? I mean, we are effectively helping Europe stay asleep to the threat on their,
Right. We've made
within.
it comfortable for them.
Yes, absolutely. So part of pulling out is to say, okay, now that everything's back to level, sort of level playing field, watch how quickly those Europeans start to get engaged into the very real politic of their immediate countries.
You think they would wake up? You don't think
Oh,
they would get
100%.
taken? Yeah.
Oh, these people have rich genetic history of being warriors. Stand up Europe, the Germans, the Irish, the Brits, the Spaniards, the Italians. These people have, I mean, you're talking about Rome.
Yep.
Even in the Eastern Bloc, some of these
Yep.
countries, these countries have warriors. Even my Scandinavian forebears, my great grandmother was Norwegian, and that Viking DNA is in there. It just has to be unlocked, and they have to be, motivated to fight for their country and their culture. And once that happens, all bets are off. They'll beat back the Muslim hordes the same way we did before.
The same way they did before. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
When
and
I
I'm
said when I
reading all
say
kinds
we,
of
I
history.
mean,
I got books behind me.
yeah.
I'm reading all this history, and as you're saying this, I'm like, I'm literally remembering. I'm reading this in these books. They went through nonstop wars. They were fighting. They've been, as you said, warriors from the beginning. It's not until just recently that it all kind of stopped and they softened up. So you're right. They
Right.
do have it deep in their blood. And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
maybe if we did something like that, I mean, Trump has pulled out of a few things here and there, but
He's doing it though. He's doing it. He's doing it in the best boomer way he can. You see him saying it. He's going, "Hey, we went to go fight this war against the Muslims," and he's using Iran as a proxy for the entire Muslim world. For in essence, right on this global stage. Now, again, I think our priorities are best: secure our elections, mass deportations, arrest these deep state, pedophiles and some of these treasonous judges. Those should be our priorities, in order. And then anything beyond, we say for after the fact. Hemispheric defense first. The Arctic, sure. South America, that's us. Our oceans, we can patrol our oceans and defend our oceans. We don't need NATO to defend our oceans. We defend their oceans for them, right, on behalf of the alliance. So, but I do think that he's positioned Iran culturally in the narrative as the face of the entire Muslim world, and he's called on Europe, without really saying it. He's kind of called on Europe to get in the fight, and he's called them out when they haven't shown up. Right. And I think he's spot on about that. I just think in President Trump's boomer mind, and God bless him, love him. He can't help his age. He's 80, right? He's a boomer. It is what it is. But in his boomer mind, he is not all the way yet to the point where he's saying, "I'm pulling out of NATO. You guys learn to fight on your own." And that's the obvious thing that should happen. When you're helping somebody, you're giving them money, you're giving them rides to school, your children or your friend to work or whatever the case may be, and they just openly disrespect you and show a lack of appreciation or a lack of desire to use what you give them to better their own circumstance so that they can then take care of themselves and maybe somebody else in the future. You don't keep doing it. You don't keep subsidizing them. You say, okay, right. You don't want to, go ahead, then you figure it out, and hopefully you do. And if you do, then salute to you on the other side. You'll probably have learned something and matured through that experience. Yeah. We have to do the same exact thing to Europe right now, and Israel for that matter. Now, I think Israel's more, it's funny because it's a dichotomy, like it's reverse. I think we've been keeping Israel on the chain, and we've been, wanting Europe to step into the fight. And so I think I think Israel's just chomping at the bit. Like you hear Bibi Netanyahu saying now, and I heard this from a lot of Israel insiders, Israel's whole deal, or there's a faction at least in Israel, their whole deal is we can fight all these wars on our own. Let us off the chain. The reason why America keeps giving us money is because they want to shoehorn in to try and, tell us what to do. Now, I don't know if people believe that or not, but I'm just saying, the way you unmask the whole deal is you pull your support and you see what happens. You let them do their thing.
And let them be responsible for themselves and get back to what that was like, because I think they've lost sight of that. So
let them off the chain,
agree with a lot of what you're saying.
If Israel can take the whole Middle East from the Muslims, it's not good for them. Not my business. I don't care. I'm just not on that. I'm not in that line of country where it's this zero-sum game. Either you're with Israel or not. Me, I'm an America firster. I think Mark Levin's an absolute jerk off. I think the entire Fox News apparatus are a bunch of rhino jerk offs, 501c3 Christian Zionists. I can't stand it. I think the whole ideology is self-destructive and frankly weird. But I'm not in the line of country that says, well, Israel's going to commit a genocide on the Iranians and boo-hoo. They would kill us in a heartbeat. So that's not the right criticism. The right criticism is, what are our priorities? I don't give a shit what happens between them. You guys take that. It's like when you're at the house, right? You're at a house at a barbecue, you got friends over, and two of your mutual friends have a beef, right?
Yeah.
And the simple answer is they got a beef. You guys take that outside, because I'm trying to enjoy this football game. It's the same thing we need to tell Israel with the Middle East. You and our Gulf Emirate partners, you guys go take that outside and you sort it out, because we got shit to handle back at home.
Yep. Now, talking to you and following you and now getting the chance to talk to you, I'm now super curious. Are there any congressmen that you like or you stand behind or that you kind of align with in a way? just out of
I
curiosity before I
I
let you go.
I liked Matt Gaetz, but you know, he gave it up. Matt Gaetz was good. He endorsed me back in 2024 and has endorsed me again here in 26. So I like Matt Gaetz. He's a former congressman. I like Eli Crane. You know, I think Eli Crane's a good dude for the most part. And, you know, I like Tim Burchett. He says it like it is. Now, where his allegiances really lie, I think he's got a little bit too much APAC money in his coffers for my liking as well. But at least he says it the way it is. So you know, there are a few patriots sprinkled, you know, few and far between in the Congress. But overall, my take on our Congress is the overwhelming majority of it is captured by special interests and lobby money, and it's repugnant. So
Amazing, man, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. It's a pleasure to have you. And dude, how can if people want to support you and follow you, should they go to your website? I have your website down on the bottom of the
yeah.
screen. Is there any other place you'd send them?
RoyceWhite.us. That's the Senate campaign website, and I'm on all social media channels, on all social media platforms under Royce White. You can find me. We're doing a daily show now called The White House on Free People Radio social medias, and we do 7 to 9 a.m. live. So if people want to tune into that at 7 to 9 a.m. Central and get in the live chat or jump in, we take call-ins and stuff like that. Feel free to do so. You may think something I said here was absolutely crazy. We'd love to hear from you.
Right on, right on. Awesome, brother. Thanks again, and a pleasure to
Thank
have you.
you.
And I'll hopefully get you on another time. See you, man.
Anytime, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you. See you. All right, guys. That was Royce White, man. That was awesome. So glad to have him and hear his perspective. Mass deportations. That is something that I can definitely get behind for sure. I'll tell you that. That is something that would help clean up quite a few things. And guys, you have to forgive me if I didn't get to your chats here. But now I'm taking a look at your chats, and while we have Trump that's going to come on, he's coming on live. He's going to do a kickoff celebration, and so I just wanted to kind of jump in here and while we're waiting for Trump, I'm going to see if it's going to end up taking too long. I may have to redo the stream, but and we'll go from there. But I want to look at your guys' live chats now. Davey says, Medi spreading the word. Yes, sir. We're trying, bro. We're trying, spreading the word, and we're trying to, learn more about what's going on, get more of different people's takes. And man, it was actually refreshing having Royce White on the show, man. That was a very, very refreshing position. I liked a lot of what he said there. He had a point, man. It's like sometimes we got to just let people figure out their issues on their own. If they're not able to kind of take what we're offering and make something great about it or make something good with it, man, it's just maybe we got to let them kind of start being responsible for themselves and figure it out on their own, and it might make them better for that. I think that's a big one there. And we have an issue with this, dude. We let in so many millions of people illegally into our country that we don't even know who the hell's in our country anymore, at some point. So that's a big problem. All right, so I have a few of you saying agreeing, a few of you not agreeing, of course. John Call says America First is supporting Israel. Okay. We got Mohammed on here, says Bibi is the Israel as he holds the public office. Bibi is I don't understand what that means. What else we got? Ron DeSantis should be our next president of America. I have so many people talking about Ron DeSantis, bro. Ron DeSantis could do a lot for our country. Ron DeSantis, dude. Ron DeSantis. How we looking, guys? How's everything else? Let's take a look. Who else? All right. We got Min. Min's in the chat. Jeff Chandler says, I hope Trump realizes that Netanyahu is not his friend. I've heard a lot of stuff about the leader of Israel, but I have dismissed most of it. But now I think its true colors are showing through. Kaveh, I'm assuming is Iranian, says, if Republicans support freeing Iran, they will flip California. California is full of wealthy and influential Iranians. Yes, but Iranians don't vote, bro. That's the problem. Iranians are not doing a great job of stepping up and getting involved in voting. If they did, it would be a different story. And that's something that I would say, if you go to wearecyrus.com, there is a petition you could fill out, and you could also learn more about how Iranians can get involved in the political process and learn when to vote, learn how to vote, all that kind of stuff. So that is definitely a resource that I think should be used. Let's take a look at what else we got going on here. All right, so we got, let's see, you guys talk. Matt Gaetz. Yep, he talked about Matt Gaetz. He likes Matt Gaetz. But yeah, Royce White is definitely very much America first, and I appreciate that. I appreciate people that are America first, because right now, guys, it is a very, very big problem. Right now, we are letting the country go. It's crazy because we're watching Europe go through what we're about to go through, and we're voting for more of it. It really, guys, it doesn't make any sense. We're watching Europe get destroyed by mass immigration. And, people that are not assimilating, people that are doing some of the most horrific things. And one of the problems that I have, one of my biggest, like if someone was to say, dude, what's your biggest problem with this whole thing? Mine would be that my people that know my channel, that have listened to me, I think we need to do away with welfare programs. And I think that immigration in the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years has become a problem in the way that it's not like it used to be. They're coming to our country because of our welfare programs in many ways. They come here to take American taxpayer dollars, get on our welfare programs. And that is not the type of immigration that we're hoping for, that we're looking for. I always have been a proponent of immigration. I'm a product of immigrants. And we should be trying to figure out what's the best type of immigration. What makes our country better. Guys, we are the greatest country, and we should want to stay and maintain that and always be the greatest country. And we have to look at it from an objective point of view and say, dude, how can we keep our country great? Well, we can do that. One way is by readjusting what we've been doing with immigration. Take a look at immigration policy. Are we allowing people in our country that are making our country better, or are we allowing people that come in here and right away start taking away from our country and away from our taxpayers, the American people? So we have a lot of our own issues in America. We have Democrats, and I mean, not just Democrats. I'm going to speak about Democrats first, but let's just say Democrats and Republicans, that we all want to help the working class people. We all want to help raise people up from the lower part of our income bracket and bring them up, because it's a benefit to the whole country. Okay. Republicans understand that. That's why Republicans, they're all about capitalism, because capitalism is the best thing for people to move up through the income brackets. And it's a benefit to the country as a whole and everybody that's involved in it. Everyone that's involved in our free market capitalist country. But, Democrats, they talk about helping people rise up and make more money, come out of poverty, let's say, come out of even higher income brackets and move them up the ladder. But how are you going to do that if you allow for mass immigration into our country, of which the immigrants are coming to take from our taxpayers and need us to increase the taxes we charge on people? For example, Los Angeles. Los Angeles just had a tax increase, not income tax, sales tax, which affects the people on the bottom more than any other part of our income spectrum. When you raise income tax, you raise taxes on everything people buy. So you're affecting the people that you're saying you want to raise the people up from the bottom up. You want to raise them up and help them move up the income ladder. Well, how are you going to do that if you keep doing things to them that charges them more and more money? How is that possible? It makes no sense. So Democrats want to open the borders, flood the country. There should be no borders. We should allow everyone in, tens and millions and millions. It's like, dude, you do that, yes. Okay, fine. But now you have to support that. And to support that, you have to raise taxes. And you guys are Democrats, I'm talking about, Democrat socialists, especially communists. You're all about raise taxes. Yeah, raise taxes. But you don't realize, bro, you're making everybody pay. So the people that you think you're supposedly helping are the ones you're hurting the most. Absolutely bonkers, guys. So let me take a look at some of your guys' chats here. Someone says here, what an ignorant person. Dr. Jones, let me put the chat on here. Dr. Jones says, what an ignorant person. Are you talking about me? If you're talking about me, at least tell me why you think I'm an ignorant person. If you're going to say that, talk to us, bro. Tell us why. The guy says, have the corporations pay their taxes. They do. The wealthiest people, all of our taxes are paid by the top income bracket. The bottom 50% pay virtually no taxes. Are you aware of that? So since you want to call me ignorant, let's see if you understand what you're talking about yourself. The lower 50% of the income bracket pays virtually zero in taxes. Are you aware of that? I'm just curious. You went ahead and you opened your mouth and you called me ignorant. Are you aware that the lower 50% of income earners pay virtually zero in income tax? So let's talk about it. You guys got something to say? Let's talk about it. Let's go for it. Come on, guys. What do you got? The dude's he's gone now. That's what I thought, bro. It's definitely true. It's definitely true. You want to watch? You want me to ask Chat GPT, which is actually liberal and left-leaning? I'll do it right now on live. You guys know I love doing that. I'll do that all day long. I'll do it live, bro. It's 100% true. The bottom 50% of income earners in our country pay virtually zero taxes. Zero income tax. Google it, search it, Chat GPT it, do whatever you want to do. Let's go. You want to see it? You want me to put it on? I'll put it on right now. Give me 1 second here. Let me put my program screen on so I could make sure I could see myself. Where am I at? Where's my program screen? There it is. Okay. There we go. Let's go like this. You ready for this? Watch this. Here is Chat GPT. Let's open up a brand new screen. Here we go. Here's Chat GPT.
I'm right here. Let's cut to the chase. What do you need?
Is it true that the bottom 50% of earners in our country pay virtually zero income tax, or like, what is it, 3%?
Roughly, yes. The bottom half of earners pay a very small share of total income tax, often around a few percentage points. Many have little or no federal income tax liability after deductions and credits, but they still pay other taxes like payroll taxes.
There you have it. Even your left-leaning liberal ChatGPT said it for you. And you want to talk about, oh, someone else should be paying more taxes. Dude, they do. Our whole country's based on the top percentage of our country paying all your taxes, bro. We already pay your taxes. What else do you want? What else do you want, bro? Absolutely bonkers. Literally, yeah, I'm going to put, let's go even further. Let's go even further. We just discussed that the dude in the chat was saying that, oh, the rich or he said the corporations and the rich should pay more taxes. And I just explained to you that the bottom 50% pay virtually no taxes, and chat just confirmed it. Now let's go a step further. All right, let's go a step further. You ready? Watch this. What percentage of taxes are paid by the top 25% of earners in our country?
The top quarter of earners typically cover about 85 to 90% of all federal income taxes. The highest brackets carry the bulk of that load.
What was the percentage again? How much do they pay?
They pay around 85 to 90% of all federal income taxes. So the top 25% cover almost the entire tax load.
Dude, what else do you want? How much, what more do you want, bro? You just said that the rich or the top, should pay the taxes. Chat GPT, liberal, left-leaning Chat GPT just told you that they pay 85 to 90% of all income tax. What else do you want? You got played, bro. You guys are getting played by your own echo chambers. You guys are getting played by your mainstream media. You guys are getting played. Dude, absolutely crazy. But they still want to run around and say, yeah, Bernie Sanders, yeah, charge the rich more taxes. They pay all the taxes, bro. They pay it all. All of them are paid by the top percentages. So wild, dude. So wild. They literally create stuff. They create things. They create ideas. They create businesses. They come up with plans. They put themselves through hell to develop these things. They put everything on the line. They risk everything. They go hard in the paint. They sleep less. They work more. They take all the responsibility. And on top of all that, they pay for 85 to 90% of all your taxes. All the taxes, all of income tax, 85 to 90%. After they do all of this, they pay all of that with the money they make from these activities, from their success. And that is holding together the government of our country. And you want what now? You want them to do something more than that? You're mad at them for that? Wait a minute. You know that if you stop people like Elon Musk, people talking about Elon Musk in the chat, talking shit on Elon Musk, you know that if you stopped people from making too much money, you would not have a government, bro. You would not have tax money to do anything. You would have to work harder and make less yourself, because you would have to get charged more taxes. If people at the very top don't have income and that money, that tax revenue goes away, you're the one that has to cover it. And frankly, sometimes when I think about these things, I go, dude, maybe we should be doing that. Maybe we should do this magical thing that you guys think that will happen, that will solve all your problems. Then put the burden on you, make you pay more taxes. So when you go to work, all the money you make goes nowhere, not in your pocket. And then you're going to wake up and go, hey, dude, we need to stop these welfare programs. We need to stop these programs that are taking tax money. I want to pay less taxes. Stop charging us taxes. No more taxes. And then you'll get the point. Then you'll finally understand what the hell is going on. Because you're running around not paying the taxes, saying someone else should pay the taxes when actually they are paying the taxes. Then you get mad when they make more money to pay more of your taxes. And I think the solution is to turn it around on you. You should just turn it right around on you, make you do it. Okay, let's say you don't use their tax money anymore. Now where are you going to get that money from? And let's watch you go running around saying, no more taxes, reduce the taxes, no more taxes. Watch that. Dude, I think that's what should happen. We should probably do that. Hot Tamale says, everyone pays taxes. Apparently, you just missed the whole situation. Apparently, you just missed the whole thing. I put the wrong one here. Where is this? Where is his chat here? Where is it? He says, everyone pays taxes. Bro, the bottom 50% pay virtually zero income tax. The bottom 50% pay almost zero income tax. You guys want to talk about the Lincoln Memorial, this thing? Davey says, do you have any sources? Are you talking to me or someone else? I think you're talking to someone else. So that's what I wanted to talk about. We got Trump. He's kicking off this whole thing today. So let's see what else do we got? What else? Who are you talking about? Oh, John says hot tamales is a retard. Jason is right, dude. Stop trying to blame the rich. The rich are literally who pay for your taxes. If you stop them from making money, do you realize you're going to pay more taxes and you won't have money? It will solve zero of your problems. Colby says, are you Republican or MAGA? I'm both. I was Democrat. I was a liberal. I'm born and raised in Southern California, and I'm still here in Southern California. I was raised, I chose to be because I grew up in SoCal. I was a Democrat. I was a liberal. And then And then because I'm into tech stuff and I'm into all kinds of different stuff here, I realized looking online, doing some of my businesses that I operate and some of the stuff I was doing, and I realized I go, dude, wait a minute, they're blocking this thing because I searched for this and they gave me that, and then I searched for that, they gave me this, and then I realized, dude, they're stopped. Some people are using their freedom of speech, but now they're getting stopped for it. And I go, wait, that's not the party that I was part of. I go, dude, I thought Democrat is like, dude, liberty and freedom for everyone. We have the, First Amendment. And then I found out quickly, bro, the party that I'm part of is stopping all of that. The Biden administration literally used the FBI to force Meta, Instagram, Facebook to block people, delete their accounts, remove posts, suppress things that were true. Then YouTube said the same thing. They all came out and said it. They all said it. They all said it openly. If you Democrats never see it, I saw it because I'm in the tech. I was and still sort of am in the tech world. I saw it in front of my face as I was doing my tech stuff, whatever. I'm not going to tell people what I do on this channel, but dude, that got under my skin, bro. I go, dude, this is not the Democrat Party that I was part of. Dude, thank you for the super chat. Maxwell Smooth says $4.99 super chat. Says liberal mindset is, let me put this on the screen. He says here, liberal mindset is astonishing, mad about everything, but provide no value or solutions. Just give me more of your money so my NGO friends can get rich. Dude, that is well said, dude. I'm glad you super chatted that so I could read that because that's actually well said, bro. Maxwell Smooth, that was smooth, buddy. I'm going to read it again and I'm put it on your screen again. He says, liberal mindset is astonishing, mad about everything, but provide no value, literally no value, or solutions. Just give me more of your money. Wow. Wow. Kay says he's furious. I am too, bro. I get worked up, dude. This is the stuff. This is why I have this channel, bro. Because I was like, dude, what is going on? And then I had to talk about this. That's how this all started. Literally started like this, dude. I could feel my freaking vein right here. Oh man. So crazy. W Maxwell, dude. But that's what's happened. That is what has happened. And look at you guys talking about nonsense, bro. Talking about nonsense. No, not this. Talking about let Donald Trump look, or let the president make thousands of insider trade. Bro, your party is the king of insider trading. That's the part that's the craziest thing ever. You guys are the number one hypocrites. You guys are what we call projection. It's called confession through projection. And it works like a charm. And I'll tell you how it works. And this is something that we started together on the beginning of when I started this channel. We call it confession. And those of you that know, confession through projection. Men, you remember. And what that means is whatever you guys say, like 90% of what the left comes on my channel and screams in the live chat, 90% of it, you can guarantee is actually what they're doing. And they're screaming it at us because they're projecting who they are onto us. They are confessing who they are. And by that's confession through projection. I'll let you guys use that. I give you rights to that. You can use that. Go ahead. And that is what it is. Have you apparently whoever talked about insider trading apparently has never heard of Nancy Pelosi. So that, guys, That, guys, is absolutely the case. Nancy Pelosi is nuts, has been taking advantage of you and everyone else in America, and she's not done yet. She's apparently not finished yet. And her, what is it, her nephew, Gavin Newsom, dude, what a disaster. What a nightmare, bro. What an absolute nightmare that guy is. I'm in Southern California. I'm born and raised. I've been here my whole life, and he's been a complete nightmare for us. He's destroyed our state. Absolutely destroyed it. And you guys, those of you who go, no, he hasn't, you're just saying that because you're this, that, or the other, right? Think about what can you say about California, those of you in California or outside of California. What can you guys say of the last 20 years of California that has been some type of a great thing about California? What great things have come out of California in the last 10 to 15 to 20 years? Jen says, time out, please. I gotten worked up here. Okay, I got Jan Turan says at Rep America, Republican here. What are your thoughts on liberals and Republicans being two wings of the same bird regarding how the country is running at the moment? Would you go for a strong third party? There is a lot of truth to what Jan Turan just said, and I'm going to put this on the screen here. Let's put it on the screen. Jan Turan right here says, what are your thoughts on liberals and Republicans being two wings of the same bird regarding how the country is running? Would you go for a strong third party? It's a great thought, and I think I would. And I think Trump would have, and he tried, I think. But it's just the way our country works. It just politically, it doesn't work, and it never actually pans out. It looks like it's something that's starting to happen in the UK for the first time, but that's because they hit like a breaking point. And what you're saying may be true because pretty soon, because we're kind of inching towards that type of a breaking point. We're a little bit behind UK. And so if you're asking my thoughts, these are my thoughts. I think we're inching towards it, but we're not there yet. The recent developments with the Republican Party, the way that they're voting, the things that they're doing that are kind of slowing down the progression of what the voters asked for when we voted for Trump, that has been a major problem. And so, my thoughts about the Republican Party are, it's not as congruent as the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party, dude, they'll cancel each other out if they don't, wear the right color hat or something, or the right color tie. It's like, dude, so they are lockstep, dude, with each other. Republican Party, they're all over the place. And it's respectable, and that's what I like about the Republican Party, but it's also what I struggle with as well. So the Republican Party, they're not a cult like the left. They are people that do their own thing, and they will argue with each other, and they will go online and do podcasts and talk about how they disagree with each other, and they will go and vote against the same things that the other part of their party wants to have happen. So, Save America, and there's a lot of different things that are just the party will have these stragglers that ruin it, and I don't want the right to be a cult like the left, but I do think that we should be looking after the will of the people. We have a republic, okay? This is a constitutional republic. And what that means is we, by definition, we have a republic where We vote for people to represent us. That's a republic. And when we have people that represent us, we want them to vote in favor of what we want. And you can see time and time again throughout our country, a lot of our representatives vote the opposite of what they campaigned on. They vote the opposite of what their voters want. They vote the opposite of what all their constituents are screaming at the top of their lungs. So, that to me is a big problem. That's a big problem. So, it's a constitutional republic, and we think we have representatives, and the representatives should represent the will of the people, and they're not. That's a big problem. Big problem, in my opinion. Cheers, dude. Cheers, man. That's just my opinion. It's okay. You could disagree with me, bro. It's all good, dude. Please, by all means, disagree with me and talk to me about why you disagree. I'm curious to learn more, dude. You know what I mean? And then we have people like this go, shills like this guy are the problem. Well, tell us why you think I'm the problem. Tell me. Why am I the problem? Here, this is the person. Why? Explain yourself, dude. Go ahead. And then this guy says, this guy can't form a single coherent thought. I just formed a ton. If you're not able to understand my plain, simple English, I think you need to figure something out about yourself. You need to do a little more introspective work. Jonah Vex says they can't, Medi. I know, bro. I know. Good to have you, dude. Yeah, they can't, dude. They absolutely can't. You're totally right. You're totally right, bro. They just bark, and there's nothing, there's no substance to it. It's just the bark. There's nothing that comes out of it. They can't explain anything. Nothing. KK kind, I don't know how to say your name, but KK says, do you know the root cause of corruption? Are you asking me because you want to tell me? I think the biggest corruption that we have, or you ask, or maybe you're talking to other people. I think the biggest problem, the biggest corruption that we have is our representatives selling out to corporations that want some of the worst things for our people. I think that's a big issue with our country. And I know that, people say, well, it's with this type of a system that we have in place. Well, if you have some people that can lobby and that can, buy representatives to do bad things, well, then you can have good companies and good people buy them out with more money to do good things, So, but it doesn't always play out that way, dude. It doesn't always play out that way. Yeah. That's a big one, dude. That is a major one. Someone says, Jonah says facts, Min. And what did Min say? Min says, Jonah, yep. And NPC, they're a lot of paid. Pay people online. Yeah. Yep. It's a lot of people paid online. Let me take a look at what time Trump is going live, guys. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, I think he was live for just a moment there. Let's go and see what he did. Was this, when was this? Trump was live an hour ago. While I was going off, he was live. Let's see, where's he at? Where's Trump? And let's get some sound.
First of all, about Iran. I really want to make clear how important it is what you are doing on Iran. This is great.
Let me go back, guys, because your sound, you didn't have sound. Here we go. 1 second.
Very much. It's a great. Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with a friend of mine, a man who is respected all over the world, actually, but he's in charge of NATO. He's the Secretary General, Mark Rutte, and he's really done a great job. He was not too much involved when they weren't too nice to us in our recent little military skirmish, but he is a man that's respected by everybody. And Mark, maybe you'd like to say a few words.
Absolutely. And a few things I want to share with the media, with you being here present. And it's about your leadership. First of all, about Iran. I really want to make clear how important it is what you are doing on Iran. This is, first of all, about the nuclear capability Iran was basically getting its hands on. And that would have been a threat to the region. It would have been a threat to the whole world. This is a country which is exporting chaos. It is exporting terrorism. And they were very near to getting their hands on the nuclear capability. You have seen last week with the G7, all the leaders in the G7 applauding the fact that this nuclear capability has been degraded. This is extremely important, and I just want to make this clear, because sometimes people think, why was this whole Iran thing going on? This is about security, about safety. This is the leader of the free world taking responsibility beyond the shores of the United States for the rest of the world, and this is what you did. I know there have been debates about whether your allies in Europe were with you enough. I just want to say one thing, which
they
is
weren't.
Yeah, but let me say one thing, which is I know you think that, but let me, and I know about the let's say your irritation about that. But when you look at the numbers, 4,000 to 5,000 U.S. planes taking off from bases in Europe in the 6 weeks this war took place. Still, the ceasefire took place mid-April. Bucharest, the airport in Romania, having to close. It had to close for commercial traffic because they had to make sure that you were able to send a tanker aircraft up in the air. So this is what I know. There have been isolated cases about which you are really disappointed, but generally speaking, your European allies have been there with you. I really want to make the point. 4,000 to 5,000 US planes taking off from European air bases. So that's about Iran. Now I want to take you, if you stay here,
Yes, go ahead.
I go over to these boards here, because I want to show you
gotta show and
this
tell.
president was able to achieve. And I start with this chart. This chart is about the Trump trillion. The Trump trillion shows you the increase Europeans and Canadians are paying into defense since you took office in 2017.
Right.
Trump 45 plus Trump 47. A total of extra spent by the Europeans and the Canadians of 1.2 trillion. When you look at the effect of Trump 47, so the isolated effect of the extra defense spending in 2025 and in 2026, you see almost $140 billion extra spent nominal on defense by the Europeans and the Canadians, and also this year you will again see an increase by about 120 billion, which brings a total in 2 years of over $250 billion. I can assure you this is because of Russia, because of the threat, but I'm also absolutely convinced that you, being President of the United States, being consistently pushing for something which since Eisenhower has not been achieved, which is the Europeans equalizing their defense spending with the United States, this is your evidence. Then, when it comes to jobs, look here. In total, 195,000 jobs being supported by investments. Investments from European companies into the United States, 83,000 jobs supported by that. 112,000 jobs created by the fact that Europeans are massively, about half of all their defense spending when it comes to defense industrial output is spent in the United States. 112,000 jobs. Last year they spent $54 billion on US defense industrial output. There is now an order catalog, an order backlog of $300 billion. So $300 billion of defense spending from Europeans buying this in the US over the next couple of years, which is already on the order book. Last year 54 billion, a total now order book of 300 billion, totally almost 200,000. These are real jobs, real people. Like you had yesterday when you spoke in Pennsylvania, the people behind you. But I want to say two things more, if you allow me. First of all, to get all of this done, we had to increase the defense industrial output. There is a big problem. The problem is that both in the United States and in Europe we are not producing enough. Our stockpiles have to be replenished because of the war in Ukraine and what we do there, and for all the other reasons. You have taken leadership here. Last week you signed the Defense Procurement Act. You made it possible for companies to work together to be able, therefore, to ramp up their defense production. You have been very harsh with them a couple of weeks ago. I had one of them over in my office. Yeah, it was really harsh. I had one of them over in my office. He was still trembling. One of the CEOs. And I said, this is good. This is exactly what we need. Because we need this extra defense output. This is important for Europe. When I point at all these jobs, of course also many jobs being created in Europe and in Canada, but again almost 200,000 here in the United States, supported by all these investments. But it is about defense industrial output, and this is also what the Ankara summit has to be about. The whole first day will be about defense industrial production, because we can spend as much as we want, but we need the interceptors, the missiles, we need the tanks, we need the artificial intelligence, etc., etc. And this is what you are doing that in the US, but also therefore putting all that pressure on the defense industrial base. And finally, you had the G7 last week. I think that was a big success. What you've seen there is that, yes, you are President of the United States, but I want to make this point. For me, you are first of all the leader of the free world. In 2 weeks in Ankara, you will have not 7 countries, you will have 42 countries, the 32 allies, US and the other 31, but also 9 or 10 other countries from the Middle East, from the Indo-Pacific. And they want to hear your lead. You will provide it, I know this. This is what you do in Iran, this is what you do in defense industrial output, on spending, and all of this. You being leader of the free world. And now we see it with Ukraine, the fact that Ukraine stays strong in the fight, that you still provide all the stuff they need, paid for by European and Canadian allies, fair enough, but very important for them to stay in the fight and all the other things the United States is doing. So I'm really looking forward to that summit. I know that Erdogan, the president of Turkey, looks forward to receiving his good friend Donald J. Trump. But I just wanted to tell this story because, ladies and gentlemen of the American media, this is important. This is your president, but also leader of the free world, taking the leadership role as is necessary.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Any questions, please?
Mr. President, after all this, you've been so transformative vis-a-vis NATO, and I think the Secretary General just stated that. You transformed NATO, the like of which nobody would have even thought that you could have done. After all that, do you still think that European allies, like you told me, treated you badly? And if so, what can they do to make things better? And to you, Secretary, can you confirm that all the thousands of flights, as you stated today and yesterday on Fox News, are in compliance with NATO treaties?
Well, let me just say, he's been a friend of mine. He's a great guy, great leader, great Secretary General. Everybody respects him. And I appreciate your nice words, but you really have done a good job. And I think if anybody else were in that position, we wouldn't even be meeting today, to be honest with you, because we were let down. We didn't need help on this at all. We demolished them in literally the first week. But it would have been nice if they would have said, we'd like to help. We didn't even need it, but it would have been nice if they said that. They didn't say it. But as Secretary General, and he's the boss of the whole operation, he was, I believe if I would have called him, and I didn't bother doing that because I was doing individual countries just to take the temperature and see how they were doing. But I think if I would have called him, he probably would have found a way to help if we needed it. I feel, would have been a little bit different. But I was disappointed. I was disappointed with Italy. I was disappointed with the UK. He's now gone. And, he had a lot of problems, but we were disappointed with the UK. We were disappointed with Germany and France. We were disappointed with most of them. Spain is a horror show. Spain is terrible, even from your standpoint. I mean, they don't want to pay anything. They think they're in for a free ride. Spain is not a good group, not a good group at all. But I have great respect for this man. And so we're going to be discussing what took place, and we'll see what happened. Thank you. Good question.
Can I answer to your
Yeah,
second question? Because I don't have many...
Guys, if you're watching, appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. Bring you Trump and everything political live. We talk about politics openly together live. Guys, thank you for subscribing and liking the stream.
Disagreements with the President of the United States. Here I have to slightly, because I do agree there is reason for disappointment, absolutely. But my argument is this. These are isolated cases. When you look at the overwhelm, take for example Germany. From day one, they delivered on their bilateral, these are bilateral commitments, a bit of the techniques of this, but the technology, but these are bilateral commitments these countries are having with the United States. So this is not, strictly speaking, NATO, but bilateral commitments. They all did what they promised to do. And this led to between 4,000 and 5,000 US planes taking off from Europe. I would argue it would have been very difficult to do Iran without having Europe as a power projection platform for the United States. But again, he's right. There is also reason for disappointment. It is a mixed bag.
Well, the big question is, are they paying the 5%? They agreed 6 months ago when we were together to pay 5%. And for the most part, they're not paying.
Well, when you look at the numbers, take for example Germany. So we agreed they get a couple of years to get there because you cannot spend it in 1 year because you have an absorption problem. But Germany, for example, Germany is doubling its defense spending between 2021 and 2029. They will spend over 150 billion by 2029, which is staggering, more than the French and the Brits combined even. Take the Dutch, and Poland and the Baltics already there, countries like Denmark really stepping up, so and the Nordics. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, but most of them are doing it, and the alliance is so much stronger because of this man.
Are the sorties in compliance?
Please, yellow dress.
Thank you, Beth Turner from GB News. You mentioned that our Prime Minister has got one foot out the door. The new guy's coming in, Andy Burnham. What do you know about him, Mr. President? And what does he need to do to improve the relationship between our two countries? The new incoming Prime Minister, Andy Burnham.
I don't know anything. I see that he was, I guess, the mayor of a town. I hear he's extremely liberal. Extremely. So that means he probably won't open up the North Sea. You know, I gave Keir Starmer some pretty good advice. I said, open up the North Sea. Go to Aberdeen, which was the hottest city in the whole continent. It was the oil city. It was the oil of Europe, and they closed everything. It was terrible. I saw it before my eyes, and I couldn't believe it. The North Sea is loaded. I have had every oil company come to see me. Sir, could you give us access to the UK? We would do anything to drill in the North Sea, and they haven't even found what's there. The amazing thing is they buy their oil from Norway, which gets the oil from the North Sea. Think of it. And they pay a big premium. Norway's got now $2 trillion in the bank, and UK is dying. So they should open up the North Sea. It's an easy one. And a lot of good things are going to happen. It's among the greatest fields in the world. Peter?
President Trump, great night for Democratic Socialist candidates last night. In the New York primaries, they swept and knocked out 2 incumbents. You're from New York.
I have to pause it. Jen, this was funny. She says, oh, he blinked. Did he fall asleep? Yeah. You know, the Democrats are going to find the portion where he blinked, and they're going to cut that right there and say, look, Trump is asleep.
Why do you think it is that now the endorsement of Zohran Mamdani means more than the endorsement of Hakeem Jeffries?
Well, they're going radical left. They're going really, you talk about the Democrat socialists. It's really communist. That's these people. I watched that woman last night. That's not a socialist. I know socialists. That woman is a communist. And you know what they don't say is that I was 16-0 last night. But mine were a little more boring, a little more mainstream. They were Republican conservatives, but we were 16-0. And if you look over the last 2.5 years, we're about 347 and just about 0. That's pretty good. But nobody writes that. But he picked 3. They won. They beat a guy named Dan Goldman, who's, a loser. He was one of my prosecutors, one of my many prosecutors that they used on me. Dan Goldman, not a good prosecutor, fortunately, but he's now looking for a job. I was very surprised to see, because he's a pretty liberal guy. When they go more liberal than Dan Goldman, they're really into Never, never land.
Does this tell you that the Democratic Party's 2028 nominee will likely be, or could likely be, a Democratic socialist?
Well, it should make it easier for Republicans because most of the nation is composed of sane people. They don't want to, you know, if you look throughout history, go back thousands of years, you've always had socialism and communism by different names. It's never ever worked. It's not going to work this time either. Yeah, yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. As a Turk myself,
Who's calling you?
as a Turk,
Wow.
as a Turk myself, I can tell you with great confidence that your presence in Ankara is eagerly anticipated. What's your message to your great friend Erdogan and the Turkish people? Because you're going to be there in less than 2 weeks.
From Turkey?
Yeah, I'm a Turk myself.
Well,
And
I like him. He's a friend of mine, and he stayed out of the war. You know, he was a prime candidate to go into the war with Iran, maybe on the Iran side, because he's not a big fan of Israel, as you know. And I asked him to stay out. He stayed out. And you know who else was great? Was President Xi of China. He could have come in. He gets half of his oil from that area. You know, I could see him wanting to, and I asked him to please stay out, and he did. We did a good job, but he stayed out. Erdogan's a great leader, very strong person, great military, and I asked him to stay out, and he did, and so did President Xi, and frankly, so did Putin, if you really look. But you could say that Vladimir has some other things to focus on. But they all stayed out. I mean, it was pretty amazing. People were surprised. And I think that Erdogan is, look, he loves Turkey, right? He's doing a great job. He loves Turkey. I love the U.S., but he loves Turkey, and he's doing a great job. He's a respected man, a respected leader, and he's been a friend of mine. Now, I shouldn't say that, because guys like Peter will say, oh, he likes Erdogan. He likes Erdogan. No, Peter won't. Peter doesn't. Some of the others, let's say. But Erdogan is a strong man, but he's been everything I've ever asked him for, he's done.
Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General clearly pointed out that allies want to do defense business with you, and Turkey is definitely one of them. They want the F-110 jet engines, and they want the F-35 fighter jets. Are you going to Turkey with a big gift bag for Erdogan?
Yeah, I think so. Look, he's a member of NATO. Some people don't consider himself, but he really is. He's a strong member of NATO. Yeah, I'm going to probably do something that's going to make him very happy.
And Turkey has
Tell him hello,
huge,
right? Tell him hello. He's a good man.
And Turkey has a huge defense industrial base. 3,000 companies working all over the alliance, also here in the United States. So strong.
People don't know how big Turkey is in terms of the military. It's a very strong. They have a lot of our equipment. A very strong military because of him. Yeah, please.
Your expectations, sir, about this meeting in Ankara? What do you think?
Well,
what are your
except for the fact that it was being held in Turkey by President Erdogan, I don't think I would have gone to it.
You have come for me.
But I might go for it. You're right. I mean, I wouldn't have gone for, you know, what we went through over the last 2 months with, you know, the various countries. But you're probably right. I would have gone for you. But I would have not gone for most people. But he called me up. He said, please, I have it in Turkey. You got to be there. The United States has to be there. And so I'm going out of respect to President Erdogan.
Mr. President, what do you want the allies to do more than what they are doing right now? Do you
Just
have
be
an
loyal.
ask?
I just want their loyalty. We don't need their money. We don't need anything. We have the most powerful military in the world by far. But I just want loyalty. You know, we're so loyal to them. We're always fighting for them. We have thousands of troops all over Europe. In Germany, we have 50,000 troops. And then you want give us a little nudge, give us a little kiss. We don't want much. And they say, no, we can't do it. We're paying hundreds of millions of dollars for the troops that we have in Germany, the troops that we have in UK, the troops that we have all over Europe. I will say Poland was very good. You know, I endorsed him, and he won. By the way, many people that I endorsed outside of the United States won. You know that, right? Do you know we had a big win yesterday with Colombia, a favorite place of Marco? Marco loves Colombia, but no, I endorsed a man who was, at the end, and he won. But the same thing in Poland. He was number 10.
Karel den Vos.
I endorsed him. I didn't like the man that was the president at all, and I endorsed him. He was a fighter, a big fighter, a good fighter, and I endorsed him. He came from 10th place and he won. And they say it was the biggest upset in Europe in 50 years for a major election. And you know what? He's going to be a great president of Poland.
Mr. President,
but we have many people, South America. But we just the other day, we endorsed somebody, that El Tigre. They call him El Tigre because he's tough. He's another fighter. I like fighters again. But he won.
Mr. President, you like winners. Do you think President Zelensky is winning right now?
Well, he's doing pretty well. Look, no matter how you look at it, he's doing pretty well. He's holding his own, at least. A lot of people dying on both sides, but I think he's doing pretty well. You got to hand it to him.
Can I ask you?
Look, you have to say he's courageous. He's got great equipment, but he's got great men. He's got fighters.
And can I ask you one other question?
Yeah.
Have you seen the report into the Minab school attacks? Can you tell us?
I have not seen it. No.
Why not?
At some point, well, I have to wait for it to be complete. I don't know that they're ever going to solve that problem. I mean, you could ask Pete, but I don't know that they're going to say it was one of our missiles. Pete, I don't know that they're ever going to solve that problem in terms of whose fault was it, because there were missiles flying all over the place.
So you won't accept
and it's horrible what happened, but there were missiles flying all over the place. And somebody said it was our missile. Well, maybe it wasn't our missile, but I've seen nothing to lead me to believe it was. There were plenty of missiles being flown by other people. What do you think, Ben?
Well, Mr. President, we've taken the investigation very seriously, and when the appropriate time is right, whatever that outcome is, that'll be the time to divulge.
And do you know what the results
I mean, if
of the
you come up with the right
investigation is?
answer, I don't think it's going to be us. I don't think it was us. There were a lot of missiles being fired at that time. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, you just had a colourful lunch on the Senate, in the Senate. Would you be open to a compromise measure that had provisions of the SAVE Act into a reconciliation bill?
Not really. No, the SAVE Act should be. It's not compromise. It's voter ID. It's proof of citizenship, and it's also the mail-in ballots. We want mail-in ballots for the military if they're away. We want them for people that are ill or people that are in some form handicapped or have a hard time, or people even that are on vacation. I'm open to that. But mail-in ballots, you have to vote, because we have a lot of rigged elections.
And would you veto the housing bill?
And then we added in men in women's sports is a no-no. No men in women's sports, and no transgender mutilization of our children. These are 99% issues, and we have to do it. We have to protect. Look at what's gone on in Los Angeles and California. The vote still hasn't been counted. What's it, 2 weeks now? It still hasn't been counted. And I don't know Spencer Pratt, but I watched him and he was doing really nicely. All of a sudden he's out. And I said he was going to be out because he was doing well. And then a week later, they started saying, oh, he's starting to lose favor. He's starting to lose. I said, they just rigged the election. And they were going to do that with Steve Hilton. He's a good man. And I asked the U.S. Attorney to go look at their votes. And as soon as I did that, they announced that Steve Hilton would be a finalist. So, no, we have rigged elections. Now, in my case, I made it too big to rig. Remember the expression, too big to rig? But we have rigged, and we have to have voter ID. If we don't have voter ID and proof of citizenship, but basically it's the Save America Act. Everybody wants it. Everybody is it, including Democrats. 87% of Democrats want it. Not the leaders, because they want to cheat. Their policy is so bad, they're unelectable.
Would you veto the housing bill if it came to your desk, sir? Would you veto it?
About what?
If the housing bill that you didn't sign today, if it came to your desk...
I said I'm not signing the housing bill. I want to see what happens with it. Look, the housing bill is... housing. I made billions of dollars with housing. I know housing better than anybody, maybe anywhere. It's all about the interest rate. Lower the interest rates, you can have all the housing you want. But you have to understand, I don't want to hurt people that own houses too. These people, for the first time in their lives, they have valuable houses. They become rich. I don't want to hurt them either.
Sir,
what you want to do is what good for everyone? Get the interest rates down. We have this numbskull that was the head of the Fed before, and he's a stupid person. And we call him too late because he was too late with the interest rates all the time. We need low.
Man, you're asking who's sitting with Trump. That's Mark Rutte from the Netherlands. And for some reason, the stream their feed is a little bit grainy. It's not very clear right now, so hopefully it gets better.
Interest rates, low interest rates will solve everything. Will solve that. Now, despite that, we're doing well with housing. But where we're really doing well is oil is plummeting and costs are coming down. Affordability, we're doing great. The Democrats gave us a tremendous affordability problem, and we're reducing prices a lot.
Our new Prime Minister will be installed in a matter of weeks, could be 3 or 4 weeks. Would you want to be the first person on his list to visit globally?
No, but I think we're probably of a different persuasion. He's very liberal. But, I got along well with Starmer. I disagreed with Starmer. I said, you have 2 problems, immigration and energy. And crime, too, by the way. Crime. You have a terrible mayor of London, by the way. I don't want to cause any problems, but your mayor of London is grossly incompetent, a bad person, and a horrible representative for your country. You know that. That's why you're smiling and laughing, and it's true. But you know that. The mayor of London is a horror show. But you have a crime problem. You have an immigration problem. The immigration helps cause the crime, by the way. And you have a tremendous energy problem. You're building stupid windmills all over the country, and they don't do the job.
Dude, he's spitting straight facts right now. The mayor of London is a joke. Their immigration is supporting their crime. It's causing more crime. And they're trying to go carbon neutral, carbon zero, trying to go green. And in the pursuit of that, they're absolutely destroying their own country. They're making the people that are on the bottom part of the income spectrum of their country go completely dead broke. They can't even they have no money left. These people, the amount of money they have to spend on energy because of this green initiative and initiatives that they've been doing in the UK has destroyed the UK.
You have the greatest oil field in the world, one of them. It's called the North Sea oil. All you have to do is bid it out to Exxon, Chevron, Shell, British Petroleum. They're begging to go there and pay billions of dollars. And because the left is so crazy, they don't want the money. And the country is losing, your country is going to go bankrupt. Think of it, you have one of these, now most countries don't have that. You have the North Sea oil, and you have the best part of it. Think of it, you go to Norway, who doesn't have the best part of it, and you give them, and they have $2 trillion in the bank. They have $2 trillion, maybe more, because the UK pays them all this money and others. But you have one of the greatest fields, and I told this guy 15 times, and he wouldn't do it. I said, you're going to lose your prime ministership. And he did. In fact, I called it about 3 days early, right? Remember I said he was leaving? I wonder if that nudged him out.
Mr. President, on Lancer, would you block a final Iran deal if it included any kind of fees on shipping or maritime activities?
It would be unacceptable to me. Because we have numerous straits, and if you did that for them, you'd have to do it for other people. You have other straits. I wouldn't allow it there either. Yeah, it would be a game changer.
And have you made progress on munitions building in Europe? That's obviously something.
Yeah, we always make progress. Some of the countries that he represents are as good as him. He's great. They're lucky they have him. They're lucky they have that guy.
And the production.
Okay, behind you.
How do you think that Congress voting to end the war with Iran, even in a non-binding way, impacts your negotiations with Iran?
So we're doing great in our negotiations with Iran. Right in the middle of one of the key things, which we're going to get anyway, we have breaking news. The Senate has voted that they'd like Trump to stop the war. So Iran sees that and they go, what's that all about? Now, it's meaningless, right? But I had lunch with them. We had 4 Republican senators and all Democrats. Democrats, they want to lose the war because they're stupid. That's why we call them Democrats, I no longer use the E. I've changed the E into a U. We call them Democrats. They're dumb.
They're stupid. That's why we call them the Democrats. Fucking Trump, bro. Oh my God, dude.
Their policy is so bad. That's why they have to. They are opposed to the Save America Act because they don't want voter ID. They don't want proof of citizenship. You know why? Because they have to cheat. Their policy is so bad that if they don't cheat, they wouldn't win an election. They're phenomenal cheaters, and they stick together. But you know, the people, the Democrat people, are 87% in favor of the Save America Act.
Yeah, please. Thank you, Mr. President. Last night, of course, as Peter pointed out,
He just spoke about one of the main things that I was talking about earlier is the representatives, Democrats in office who are elected representatives, they vote against or they don't stand up for the Save America Act, which their own constituents want that. Democrat voters, all of the people around these Democrat voters, they also want the voter ID. It's a no-brainer. It's like men and women's sports. Democrats also did not want men and women's sports. But these Democratic officials, these elected representatives, don't actually represent the people that voted for them. That's the big problem we have in America right now, is you have Democrat leaders, Democrat people getting elected in office. They campaign on what the people want, but when they get elected, they do the opposite. That's the problem we have.
we saw the Mamdani-backed candidates win in Jeffries and Schumer's backyard. You told me in October that Schumer was gonzo and that Mamdani was the leader of the party. Does the last night's results affirm that assessment? And
well, Schumer's lost his way. He's become essentially a Palestinian. I think it's the greatest transformation of a political position I've ever seen. Chuck Schumer, who was a strong supporter of Israel, and he's become 100% Palestinian. In fact, I've asked for a beautiful, beautiful silk outfit to be sent in the Palestinian tradition. I'm going to send it to him as a birthday present. Now, it's the greatest transformation of a political ideology I've ever seen. Chuck Schumer is Jewish, and he was a strong supporter of Israel. Not that strong, because he let the Obama, even though he was opposed to it, he let the JCPOA get through. He could have fought that harder with Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? So, but Chuck Schumer's a Palestinian now. Sad. Yeah,
do Democrats have a problem?
Crazy. Chuck Schumer turned into a straight Palestinian. That's crazy.
On their hands now that, Obama and Mamdani, they're two true leaders. Neither of them can run for president.
Is Chuck Schumer going to wear a hijab, guys?
President in 28.
Well, Mamdani was here, as you know, twice.
I think I need to have AI show me what Chuck Schumer would look like with a hijab. Let me see.
And he's a very nice guy. He's a charming guy, good-looking guy. We talk, but you can't raise taxes on people where you force them to leave your state or your city, and they're leaving and they're going to Florida. Most of them are going down to Palm Beach and Miami. They're just leaving, and they pay 90% of your taxes. And I keep wondering, how are you going to do this? Every day you read about somebody that's leaving for Florida, mostly Florida, and other places, but they're leaving. You can't put estate taxes on that are so high that when a loving father or mother dies and they leave it to their beautiful child, the child is supposed to pay 50% tax. That's on top of federal tax, right? So basically you're leaving them nothing. What you're doing is you can be liberal, you can be anything. It's common sense. You're forcing people to leave. And these are the people that pay the taxes. They pay 90% of the taxes, and they're leaving New York, and they're leaving California too. Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. President. You said yes to the jet engines, but you're a very direct, very straightforward, no-nonsense man, as you're known in Turkey as well. What needs to happen for the F-35 deal to be finalized? What do you need to see?
Why don't you answer that question, JD? I want to give you an easy one.
Okay,
that's
thank you, sir.
He's done a great job over there, by the way.
Well, I know that Pete and the entire team are reviewing this right now because
Oh my God, bro! There is Chuck Schumer with a hijab. Is that what's dude? Look what happened to Chuck Schumer, bro. Oh my God, bro, that's crazy. Oh man, you gotta love President Trump, dude. What a time to be alive.
There are certain things that we have to certify that have happened in order to comply with American law. The president has asked us to do that. We're running the traps and confirming that's happened. This is really a congressional thing and ensuring that Turkey has complied with American law so they can get the F-35s. And of course, we'll announce that when we have that review complete.
Yeah, we're going to work. Look, hey, he's a man he's a little controversial, but I am too. But I know him. I think he's a very good person. He's helped us a lot. Anytime I've helped, like as an example, I said, I'd love you to stay out of the war with Iran. That's a natural for him, right? He stayed out. I like him. A lot of times when they have a problem with Erdogan, they call me and they say, would you talk to him? They'll call me. They'll say, could you do me a favor and talk to him? You have a question in the back? No, yeah, in the back. I love your questions, but you asked a lot.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Earlier today, you instructed your Department of Justice to do an investigation for oil companies that you said gas prices were not coming down quick enough, and you are concerned that there is price gouging going on, taking advantage of the crisis. Sir, can you elaborate on that?
So it's ExxonMobil, it's Chevron, it's Shell, it's BP, it's a lot of them. The gasoline or the oil prices have come down so much, and we are not seeing anything at the pump by comparison to what it should be. We should be, in my opinion, at $2.25 right now at the pump. And we're higher than that. And we are doing a big investigation on it, yeah. They're not reducing the prices commensurate with what's happening. Look, we are sending out, think of it, 19 million barrels came out yesterday. That is a flood. That's like a gusher. That's an oil gusher. And they should be much lower, the gasoline prices, which really is what people see more than anything else, but for their car. But the gasoline prices should be much lower at the pump. And the oil companies are possibly gouging. I hope they're not, otherwise they're going to be in big trouble. They're going to be in big trouble. We're not going to play games.
Mr. President, have you spoken to them, sir? Have you spoken to the oil executive today about this?
I told them, don't gouge our people.
Mr. President, there's a report that you're going to present the World Cup at the front, like the final.
I am. Well, I've been asked to by soccer, by football, by Johnny. Johnny's done a great job. By the way, how hot is this?
And the Dutch are doing very well.
How hot is it? You're doing well. We're doing
very well. Yeah.
Maybe we'll play you in the finals. No, but how hot?
And they'll have to beat it.
How hot has it been? Yeah. It's been great. You know, they came to the United States, which isn't a big, as they would say, football, but we can't because it's too confusing. We say soccer, but it's not very big at that. And this is the biggest they've ever had. They've never had anything like it. The numbers are bigger than any number, and there's great spirit. There's tremendous.
The Dutch king and queen.
I think Johnny has done a fantastic job. And yes, he has asked me to hand out the cup.
And will the fencing around the reflecting pool be down by July 4th, or is that going to be?
The pool?
Yeah.
It's in great shape. No. Ready? Thugs. They just told me a little while ago, 6 have been arrested, and like 6 or 7 are under investigation. They have pictures and everything else. They went to the bottom, and it's not a paint job. It's very expensive. It's not rubber, but it's like rubber. And they went down with probably a box cutter or a very sharp razor of some kind or a knife. And they cut, and then they started ripping it up. You know why? Because they're sick people. And then the side of the pool, right at water level, they took razors and they started cutting this, very expensive stuff. It's incredible stuff. It's beautiful. And it's still beautiful. But we have one area where they cut it. It's still holding. It's not leaking. But they heard it. So in about maybe after July 4th or maybe before, I don't know, we'll let a little water out because it's at the edge. They'll cut it. they'll replace it, and it'll be as good as new. But these people should go to jail for a long time. You know, there's a statute that I signed when I had my first term, that if you do anything to hurt statues or monuments, fountains in Washington, D.C., or federal fountain, it's actually federal all over the country, but you go to jail for 10 years, and there's no shortcuts. In other words, it's not 5 years for good behavior. It's a very tough statute, and so tough that it really hasn't been used very much over the years. But I used it when they had a problem in Washington where they were trying to hurt, you know, the sickos were trying to hurt things, and I announced it. As soon as I announced it, read it, announced it, and I said 10 years for anybody, everybody dropped what they had, including ropes. They had ropes. They were tying ropes around Thomas Jefferson's head, Andrew Jackson right up there. They had a rope around his head on that incredible statue outside. As soon as I invoked it, everybody left. That's still in play. They could go to jail for 10 years. They better be careful. They have a gash on that beautiful pool. It's a reflecting one. This is a very expensive material. Then on top of it, we did a much bigger job than we said we were going to do, because we did all the outer areas and everything else. We did a beautiful job. It's like a piece of glass. And for some reason, this disturbed the radical left lunatics. You know, one of the guys, he's a member or a big payer to Act Blue. He's a big Hillary supporter. He's a big supporter of Sleepy Joe Biden. No, this is a very political thing. But as I understand it, 6 are under arrest. This was pure vandalism. It's an amazing thing that we did. Don't forget, it hasn't worked properly since it was built, because it always leaked in 1922. So it was built in 1922. So that's 100 years more ago. It's never worked properly. I always say it had great potential. And I said in my first term, I'm going to do something. So Biden and Obama, between the two of them, spent over $100 million. It was a disaster. Obama, because of the environment, took the water from the Potomac, and it was horrible. It was bad. I don't want to have to tell you what happened, but it was really bad. You can read about it. Biden, he didn't have any idea what the hell they were doing, because he didn't know what anything was happening. But they spent over $100 million. We spent 14 or 15, and a lot less than that, because a lot of these people work for the Parks Department anyway, so you know they're going to work. So I would say a lot less. And we put a great surface on it. This is a world-class surface, and it looked beautiful. But they came in and they cut it, and then they grabbed it and they pulled it up. That's why it's all ripped. And who would even think of that? They're sick people. So I think they're in big trouble. But here's the bottom line. We temporarily patched it, even though we stopped the leak. It's so good that it with all that damage they did, it's not leaking. And it looks really beautiful. I just had pictures taken. It's reflective, it's beautiful, like it did a week ago. And then we're going to let a little water out, because you have to let the water out to fix it. We're going to fix it, and then the water goes back in. It won't take long. We may do it before July 4th, or we may do it just after July 4th. Now, we have it a little bit fenced off because we have a big fireworks display. And tonight, I'm making a speech. And people like my speeches. But I guess we're going to have a lot of people over there. But tonight, we're going to have a lot of good entertainment. One of the greatest opera singers in the world. We think he's great. Lee Greenwood's going to be singing our favorite song. And we have a lot of great things, but I think I speak at about 7 o'clock tonight. So that's over at the mall. No, but the water looks great. But we will do the final fix-up. But just remember this. They took razor blades 350 feet. Coming from where he comes, they don't do that. They took, maybe a little bit. They took razor blades and knives, and they cut patches like that. 350 feet long. A lot of them are like a foot, a foot, a foot. They cut the lining. And there's pictures of the guy bending over. I don't know if anybody saw that, but there are pictures of the guy. And you say, who would do that? Maybe it's Trump derangement syndrome. You know, we fixed over 50 fountains and monuments in the city. The city is the safest it's ever been, ever. We have virtually no crime. We're crime-free. When we came here at the beginning, it was a horrible, crime-ridden city. And we have no crime, virtually no crime now. Everything's fixed. We have new grass. We took miles. We took so much. Nobody's ever seen anything like. Everything had graffiti on it. It's all gone. The tents all over the lawns.
Min, is this what you're saying? Do Trump with a beard with no hair?
Which were terrible, are all gone. The fences are all gone because nobody goes on the lawns anymore. But we fixed those. You know, grass has a life, just like people have a life. And we fixed the lawn, and it will be fixed. Now, one of the other things they did a job, around the reflecting pool, we have a huge field of grass. They poured acid on the grass. The same people, I guess, they poured acid. So that's in the process. It killed, acid kills grass quickly. So that's being fixed. But the reflecting pool is great, and it's going to look beautiful. It's so sad to see what they did. And then the fake news tries to say, oh, well, it didn't work. Of course it worked. Everything I do does work. What I do works. What I do best is build. And we fixed, I think it's 52 all over the city they're talking about it. But you know the biggest thing is we have one of the safest cities. If you would have come here 2 years ago, you had a good chance of being mugged, although you're a very big guy.
I'm down. I'm actually not bad at chess, but I'm even better at backgammon. But I don't know, maybe you'll beat me, but at chess, I might actually beat you. Who knows, depending on how good you are.
They would have mugged him up. They would have beat the hell out of him. He would have said, I'm never going back. Now you can walk with your beautiful wife. You can walk with your friends down to a we were losing all our restaurants. Nobody wanted to go out. Even if you got into the restaurant, they'd rob you when you were in. Now you can't get into a restaurant, but the restaurateurs are opening restaurants all over the city. I'm so proud of it. Also, Memphis, take a look at Memphis. Take a look at in Louisiana. Take a look at what's happened. What we've done in Louisiana with New Orleans is incredible. The Governor Landry, called me. They just had Mardi Gras. He said, it's the safest Mardi Gras we've had in 75 years. It's great. We've done a good job. And you know what? In Chicago, they had many murders over the last week. Many. I could make Chicago with this group of strong people. They're strong people. That's okay. You know, one thing we got from the Supreme Court, we have merit. So if you have great students, great marks, great scores, great boards, you get into a good college. If you're bad, you don't get into a good college. In other words, it's based on merit. Tough decision for them. But that also applies to the military. We have tough people in the military. And the National Guard has done an incredible job in Washington. And my people have done an incredible job. So if you look at Memphis, crime is down 78%. I have a friend from Memphis, he was going to leave. And he called me, he said, I've never seen anything like this. It's like a different city. And also in New Orleans, it's like people can't believe it. I could do that for Chicago. I'd love to do Chicago because Chicago's potentially a great city, but you're going to lose it. It's got to be done. And we do something much more than they can do because we take people out and bring them back to the country from where they came out of jails, where they're drug lords and drug dealers and people from mental institutions. And I'd love to do it in Los Angeles. And I'd love to do it in New York City. I love New York. I'd like to see. They had a lot of problems in New York over the last couple of weeks. If we were there, they wouldn't have any of those problems. And we removed the bad people from those cities so they never come back. Now, some liberal people probably don't like the sound of that, but 92% of crime is caused in these cities is caused by 2% of the people. I love that number because it's easily solved. Think of that. 92% of the crime in Washington was caused by 2% of the people. We moved out almost 5,000 career criminals and people from other countries. And Washington now is one of the safest cities, I could say on the planet, but let's just say in the U.S. And it's beautiful now. The reflecting pool, but we have 52. I think it's much more than that. It's going to soon be more than that. You see them opening up. And my team has done an unbelievable job. Doug Burgum has been great. Department of the Interior and his people, Greg and all, I mean, these people, they're phenomenal. But think of that, you work so hard, you get it open way ahead of July 4th. July 4th was the key. And then somebody's in there with a knife cutting it and ripping the floor out. It's terrible. But the 350-foot gash in the side, it's a terrible thing. Ready? Here, I'm going to end on this. I'm so proud of Washington, D.C. It's become one of the hottest cities in the world. But what is the hottest in the world is the United States of America. We have the hottest city, and you know that. You were talking about that. 2 years ago, we were laughed at. We were a joke. We were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
There's the reflecting pool that we're talking about. There it is. There's Trump with dude. Trump looks pretty tough right here. Oh, Trump looks tough, dude. We got Trump. We got Schumer with his hijab. I guess Schumer is now Palestinian. I think he's Hamas now. Chuck Schumer. And then I think we got Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is making some adjustments. He changed his religion too. Let me see. Do I have Gavin Newsom? Where's Newsom at, dude? Yeah, Gavin Newsom, I think, is changing his religion, and I think he was seen saying "Free Palestine" the other day. But dude, Trump looks tough. Look at that. I like that, dude. That could work. Trump could go bald, bro, and he'd look good, huh? He'd look good bald. Look at that, dude. Look at Trump. He looks tough. Someone said he looks like a Viking, Triple H, or dude, look at that. There's the reflecting pool. Looks fine to me, guys. Looks fine to me. But people got TDS and they don't know what to do with themselves. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, we got Newsom, actually. Hold on, I think we got Newsom. Yeah, Newsom, dude. Newsom is changing religions, too. There he is. He's showing a little too much hair. He might get in trouble for that. You're not allowed to show your hair, Newsom. You're not allowed to do that, bro. Oh man, that is too much. Well, guys, we got Trump. I think is gonna be. Here's the crazy part, dude. Do you guys talk about Trump falling asleep and Trump is tired and Trump is this, Trump is that, and the dude's about to be live again for the second time today. And who knows? Maybe he was live earlier today and I didn't catch it. That would have been the third time. But Trump is about to be live for the second time today. Trump goes live. Trump is in front of the camera live more in one day than Joe Biden was in 2 years. Think about that. Trump goes live more in one day than Biden goes in 2 years. Joe Byron. Oh man. I always say, dude, I aspire to work as hard as Donald Trump when I'm his age. And even though I aspire and I try and I'm going to work on it and I'm going to do my best, I still don't think I'll be able to do it. I still don't think I'll be able to do it. Gavin Newsom with a hijab, though, it's very fitting, dude, actually. It kind of works. That right there works. I think that works, dude. But Donnie with a shaved head and a beard, dude, I could get behind that. I think that's good. I think he could rock it, dude. We got Trump supposedly live in what, 30 minutes? I think that's what we got. Let me take a look at a few things. Make sure he's not live right now. Let's take a look. I think he's about, dude, so we're going to watch because he's about to go live here. Right here. And then we also have, I just saw something here. Let's watch this.
We are about to enter a political period that will have we are about to enter a political period that will have
Oh, man. It's too much, dude. That is too much.
I think that if I am going to live
Let's go through some of this, dude. Let's look at some of this, guys. What's going on here?
At their back, you're going to see if the socialists win. I agree with. They're going to feel like they have the wind at their back. You're going to see Mamdani inspired candidacies across the country. You already are. Michigan is a great example. There's a Senate primary going on there, and I think Abdul El Sayed is ahead in that. He has a great chance to win. He's exactly like these socialist candidates in New York City. It's not just confined to a few districts here. It is spreading already, and if they win, you're going to see this inspiration for these kinds of candidacies across the country. The implications for the Democratic Party out there for 2028 are vast. Well, but if the socialists win, I agree with. They're going to feel like they have the wind at their back. You're going to see Mamdani inspired candidacies across the country. You already are. Michigan.
$14 million plus price tag that is associated with this cleanup project was ridiculous.
Did you oppose?
I think that the $14 million plus price tag that is associated with this cleanup project was ridiculous.
Did you oppose President Obama spending $34 million on the Lincoln Memorial and the reflecting pool?
I know that when President Obama invested, he did it with science in mind. So there was not an LG takeover.
The Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool reopened at the end of August to great fanfare after a $34 million renovation that lasted nearly 2 years. But less than a month later, the famous pool of water is full of algae.
For the record, you believe that algae didn't exist when Barack Obama was the president. Is that right?
I believe that once he invested in the beautification of that specific part, what we did not see was a takeover.
Famous pool of water is full of algae. Algae are simple organisms that thrive in areas where there is heat and sunlight.
Because we just didn't see it. It didn't happen.
Just for the record, For 1.6 billion years, algae has existed in stagnant pools on planet Earth, but not during the Obama administration.
What I'm saying is that it was treated, which is what Donald Trump could have done.
If it's sunny, if it's really warm, it will rise to the top. So on some days, depending on the weather, you will see algae at the top.
I learned something tonight. I didn't realize that President Obama had cured algae when for 1.6 billion years algae had been undefeated. So I've learned something this evening. Look.
Bro.
To why?
Oh my goodness. Let's take a look. Trump will be delivering remarks at the Great American State Fair, guys. And apparently Obama cured algae. You know, we would not exist if algae did not exist. We're all aware of that, right? Let me see what is going on here, dude.
An aggressive school of thought that wishes to see natural law further inform the Constitution than it does now, argued against by the positivist led by Judge Bork. Now, again, that may be lost on all the people. You know and I know what we're talking about.
I have to be perfectly honest with you. You sit there and you have no idea what they are talking about. All I know is that he was asking me these questions about natural law.
Someone may apply it in a way, like Moore, who leads him in a direction that is, quote, liberal. You may apply it in a way that leads you in a direction that's conservative. Or you may, like many argue, not apply it at all. But it is a fundamental question that is going to be almost impossible for non-lawyers to grasp in an exchange. But you know and I know it is a big, big deal. And in conclusion,
one of the things you do in hearings is you have to sit there and look attentively at people you know have no idea what they're talking about. And it was fine. I understood what he was trying to do. I didn't really appreciate it. Natural law was nothing more than a way of tricking me into talking about abortion.
This is a case in which this sleaze, this dirt, was searched for by staffers of members of this committee, was then leaked to the media, and this committee and this body validated it and displayed it at prime time over our entire nation. This is a circus. It's a national disgrace. And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves.
Primary, I agree with you. I was fascinated by the Goldman Lander primary. I agree with you. I think Dan's going to lose. I don't agree with much of anything he's done in Congress, but I'm surprised you sort of glossed over the main issue in this race, which is Israel. I mean, Dan Goldman is a congressman, and he's Jewish, and he went into a coffee shop this weekend in Brooklyn, and they said, you're not welcome here anymore. Brad Lander is out speaking in mosques, telling those people that he'd like to go align himself with Ilhan Omar and the rest of the squad. Dan Goldman's only sin, I guess, is that he thinks Israel has a right to exist. And for that, that has been the principal issue in this. And you've got the mayor of New York City, Mamdani, out saying about AIPAC and Jewish Americans who have participated in our politics that they are, quote, monsters. What is happening right now in New York City, the Democrat socialist takeover of the Democratic Party, should frighten not just Jewish Americans, but all Americans everywhere, because this is the direction the Democrats are headed nationally. Look what's happening in Michigan, and it is frightening. Throwing Democrat Jewish congressmen out of coffee shops in Brooklyn, New York, it's not 1930s Germany. This is the United States of America.
And by the
some amnesia about the fact that Iran has been at war with the United States for 47 years. And as the president said, he's finally the one that's dealing with it. They've killed thousands of Americans. They've funded terror proxies that have fascinated.
Do you agree with the comments of your endorsed candidate, Arielita Avila Chevalier, on opposing deportations regardless of criminal record?
You know, I've been clear that I'm proud of our sanctuary city status. It is a status that we have had in this city for decades. It's also a status that, when there's the conviction of more than 170 serious crimes, does allow for coordination with the federal government on that. However, beyond that, that is something that we have made clear we are not going to allow this city to become the civil immigration enforcement arm of a federal government.
Specific question, do you agree?
Regarding the vandalism, that's absolutely true. Somebody did vandalize the grass. Even when workers were working on the reflecting pool, I think I read that people came and vandalized their trucks and their equipment. Look, you have people that hate Donald Trump so much that they would go out and destroy our national monuments, vandalize the Lincoln Memorial, vandalize the grass. That's how broken-brained they are. Donald Trump has cleaned up Washington. The fountains work. The city is clean. The city is safe. It's good that he has taken an interest in this. And you have these people out here who are so broken-brained about the fact that he's the president that they're spending their time vandalizing all this stuff. I think it's terrible. And I hope anybody who vandalizes our monuments, I hope they get caught and I hope they get put in jail. He's trying to make the city beautiful for America 250. There's going to be a lot of people in Washington. They deserve to go to a clean, safe capital. And that's what he's trying to do. Well, regarding the vandalism, that's absolutely true. Somebody did vandalize the grass. Even
guys, we got Trump is going to be live shortly. We'll see when. Let's take a look at a few things.
Just don't have the same, these Democrat candidates and their voters just don't have the same zeal and affection for America. They don't appreciate the freedom that we have in this country. They're not even going to celebrate on July 4th. There's a new Gallup NBC poll that came out. Did you see that? Only 29% of Democrat voters that they polled said they're proud to be an American. What happened to the Democrat Party? They compared the poll from just 20 years ago, where it was 90%, because that's where Republicans are, above 90%. 29%. Over half of Democrats now say they would rather live in another country. What a split screen we're seeing. Right now, we're triumphantly hosting the World Cup games all around the country. And we're seeing people from different countries come and get a little taste of America, a little taste of freedom, of our culture and our society. And they appreciate it so much more than these socialists running for Congress. Fans across the country are truly enjoying our world-class facilities and the incredible atmosphere on the field and off the field. Thanks to social media, we're seeing a lot of these. This has been encouraging to see. The visitors appreciate what we have. Dutch travelers are in all Buc-ee's. German players took a midnight trip to the Waffle House. It was the greatest thing they've ever seen. English fans are roaming the Everglades. Japanese tourists marveling over free chips and salsa at a Mexican restaurant in Texas.
I love it.
Don't forget your blessings. People from Europe and Latin America, many countries around the world, many of whom, here's the key, they grew up under repressive state-controlled economies. They've never known freedom. They've never known these kinds of things. And they're seeing them for themselves, the genius of America's system. A system that rewards risk takers and entrepreneurs and job creators and innovators and people who create jobs for others and expand the economy and opportunity and broaden the pathway out of poverty for more people. That's what...
And pay all of your taxes.
the Republicans stand for. That's what French Hill fought for in the housing bill, to give more people a chance, to restore the American dream. That's what we promised to the voters, and that's what we are delivering. The irony is, and it is a sad irony, and I'm so disturbed this morning. Y'all know me. I'm a happy warrior. I like to be optimistic and happy. This is a very disturbing trend. Visitors around the world marvel at what our free system of free enterprise has built, while rising socialist, Marxist, Democrat candidates are trying to tear the system down. That's what they told you in their campaign speeches. That's what they want to do. They want to tear it down. House Republicans are standing in the gap. We are not going to let that happen. And we had all the Republicans gathered up this morning, and I gave them the best locker room speech I can muster, because now is the time. We know America is not perfect. It has never been. But we've been in a gradual process of making a more perfect union for almost 250 years now. We're going to continue that. America's created more prosperity. It's lifted more people out of poverty. It's expanded more opportunity and innovation than any other country in the world. It's not even close. This is the greatest nation in the history of the world. It's not even close. Look at any objective factor. You hear me say it all the time. We're the most free, most...
Yes. R. Julie says, Mehdi, you see the guy, he's from Africa somewhere, eating steak at Longhorn and chips. Dude, chips and salsa and stuff. Dude, I love that guy. I'm going to pull some of these guys up, dude. I love the fact that the World Cup has caused other people from around the world to come to America and see for themselves that they got played. They're getting played by mainstream media. America is not what CNN and MSNBC and all this mainstream media is feeding the rest of the world. Not just our country, the rest of the world. They are getting played, and I love that they came to America, saw for themselves, and tasted it themselves.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the kickoff celebration for the Great American State Fair, proudly presented by Freedom 250 and featuring President Donald J. Trump.
Here we
go. To set the stage for tonight's historic program, we invite you to enjoy the spirit and sounds of America, performed live by the President's own United States Marine Band.
I can't do music, guys, so I gotta mute the music. Even that kind of music. I've tried to do all kinds of music, and even when a band is playing, like even an American song, whatever it may be, they still mess with my stuff, which sucks. I hate it. I hate what they've done with music online music stuff. Not a fan. Not a fan of what they do whenever I put a little music on. YouTube loses it. Risky, thanks for the super chat, bro. Appreciate it. Good looking out. We got guys, we got Trump right here. This is live. This is happening live right now as we speak, and they're just playing some music before Trump goes live. By the way, beautiful Bill, thanks for joining and being a Patriot member on my channel, bro. Appreciate that, dude. And beautiful Bill is on the horizontal stream on YouTube today. He's chatting with KK. Okay, they're still doing the music. I gotta keep that on mute for now. But we got Trump going live. Let's put up our little live ticker or little live bubble. Where is it at? There we go. Oh man, dude, I'm starving, by the way, guys. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. And Miss Medication left me and left the house. She had to go take care of some stuff. But I'm over here starving, dude. She would have had me some steak already, maybe some potato. I get some of these new Japanese sweet potatoes. They're so good. They're so good. Yeah, you're right. I gotta order some food. You know what? I'm gonna have her order me some food. She orders me good food. Let me have it. Let me tell her. I'm gonna order. She's gonna order it right now. Oh, she says, okay, baby. She's gonna order it up. Hell yeah. Dude, I forgot. I should have just had her do that. Dude, well, thank you guys. That's why I need you guys, bro. That's exact. You guys are like, dude, just order food. You're like, why did I not think of that? How is it, dude? I think of all this other stuff. I'm doing a one-man show on this whole production. Bring a guest on and do this and do that and all this different, and I can't even think about how to like order myself food once in a while. It's so crazy. She's gonna do it. But yeah, I got married this weekend, guys, in Miami. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Jennifer is right. It happened. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you. They're still playing music, guys. We got Trump coming up live. Here's a picture, by the way. I got more pictures on my computer too, but I got to find them. Thank you, guys. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I Choose Live. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see if I can find a couple pictures for you guys to see what I'm talking about. KK. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see what I can show you guys. What I can't. Let me see what I can show you guys. They are still playing music. All right, I got food coming in 30 to 40. Sweet. Let's see, I think I have another one here too. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Will this thing come up? If I put this on? No. Sound off. Does that show? Yeah, I think it does. My hair, dude, was going crazy. It was super windy. My hair was going nuts. I didn't do the music. Someone else did it. That was just something that someone took. A bunch of people were posting us. Yeah, I got a lot, dude. I got a bunch of pictures, dude. Bunch of pictures. Jeez. Guys, so you know we're waiting for Trump. He's going to be live here soon. Those of you joining right now. All right. Ash's Rose says I can't hear anything. I don't have the sound on right now. The music is muted. Good to see you too, Ashes Rose. Been a minute. Good to have you back. Radim, what's going on, buddy? Love the American flag on your profile pic. Thanks for subbing, bro. Appreciate it. We're waiting for Trump. Trump is going to be live any second. So we're going to just wait. It looks like he should be live right after they're done playing music. He's kicking off this, what they call the Great American State Fair. It says it right at the top of the building right there. All right, let's see what we got. We got the reflecting pool. Sun is going down on the other side now. We got Trump. Trump can rock the bald. He could shave, dude. He could rock this look all day long. Gavin Newsom, he has officially come out of the closet. I mean, we already knew he was Muslim. But it's all good, bro. Like, do whatever you got to do. But he's showing too much hair. I think he would get in trouble if he was like in any Muslim country. They'd be upset if they saw that hair right there. And then Chuck Schumer, Trump was saying earlier today, Chuck Schumer is Palestinian.
America, you deserve and are owed an apology. And I'm going to say sorry on behalf of all the countries outside America and their media and the narrative they paint about America. Hundreds and thousands of fans for the World Cup are now seeing America through their own eyes, realizing the narrative they've been fed is false. And they're now realizing America is not the place that they thought it was. And I am sorry the media in these countries outside of America paints you the way they do. America is rich in culture, scenery, the people are amazing. And the media in the countries outside of America paint this weird narrative that it's a place that you shouldn't go. But now the tides are changing. There is a shift that is happening. And I'm sorry you've been painted in this light for so long. And I'm so happy America is finally receiving the flowers that it deserves. We've all seen the videos of the Europeans experiencing America for what it truly is, and it's amazing. When I first landed in America all those years ago, I came with an open mind. I saw it through my own eyes, and it's exactly what is happening right now with all the travelling fans for the World Cup and the foreigners. They are seeing America through their own eyes, and they're realising how amazing it actually is. America, you deserve and are owed an apology.
Yep, we know. We know, bro. You got played by your social media, by your mainstream media. They lied to you, bro. They lied to you about the greatest country on the planet. And they continue lying to you. And we got more, bro. We got more. We have more. Where are the rest of these guys? I saved all these guys that came and they were like, dude, I'm here, this guy.
Americans live like the main character, whereas Brits live like something bad is going to happen. In America, people are loud, outgoing. Americans wake up and think, yeah, today is going to be a good day. I'm going to get after it. Yep. People in the UK wake up miserable, defeated, and grumpy, craving tea bags. It's
craving tea bags.
Completely different. In America, people go and get after exactly what they want. They're loud. They talk about what they're doing. They support each other. In the UK, there is no support. If you tell someone a good idea, they will tell you it's a bad idea, and they will not support you. The only time they'll support you is if you make it. It's completely different. It feels like when I went to America, I experienced real life. It feels like the colour appeared again. Whereas in the UK, yeah, it might be sunny right now, but the people don't act like it's sunny ever. Constant misery. Americans live like
this guy is honestly great, dude. Love this guy. He's so funny, bro.
Americans, can somebody please explain to me what is going on over here in the South? Everybody is so friendly, so welcoming, so calming. The way they talk, the accent, I love hearing it. It's like beautiful chimes in my ear.
Dude, and imagine all the shit people talk about America, especially where he's at, the South. Dude, absolutely crazy. They got played. They played themselves. They straight got played by mainstream media. It's now, what is it? More music I have to mute. Although I love all of our American music. Gotta mute it. Let's go back.
Being around people in the South genuinely calms me down. They talk slower. The pace of life over here feels slower. My blood pressure has gone down since I've got to the South. The food tastes better in the South. Everything over here in the South, I love it. What is going on, man? What is the secret? I bloody love people from the South. I bloody love everything about the South. Seriously, what is it about the South that is making everybody so calm, so lovely, and so peaceful? What do they know that we don't know? What are
Bro, because we're good. We're a good country. We're filled with good people. Even, especially in the South. The hospitality of the people of the South. Dude, that Southern charm. That wonderful Southern accent. But if you live in another country, you'll get fed by mainstream media. You'll get a whole different thing fed to you. A whole different story. You'll hear a whole different story.
they doing differently from us? I need to know. Get in the comments. If you live in the South, I love you. The barbecue I ate yesterday was off the chart. Everybody I've met wants to have a chat, is genuinely interested in our lives, and wants to help out. I love it here. Americans, can somebody please explain to me what is going on over here in the South?
God, he's absolutely... Dude, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Coming home after experiencing America. Look at this.
I'm just going to put it out there. Once you have been traveling around America...
Hold on, let's make sure we get Trump live. So as soon as they're done with his music, they're going to have Trump live, guys.
America for a substantial amount of time.
Let's go play that again because I missed it.
I'm just going to put it out there. Once you have been traveling around America for a substantial amount of time, when you come home, it is a very strange and slightly, truthfully, depressing feeling. Okay? Traveling around America really opened up my eyes, really allowed me to see how I could be living and just how many opportunities there are and how many different amazing places there are, all in one country. Like, since I've been back home in the UK, I haven't felt like myself, which sounds so crazy. I now live for that adventure, that crazy lifestyle, that meeting new people, seeing new people every.
Welcome to America, bro. We have a country that is so vast, so amazing, so incredible, so full of opportunity, so full of adventure. Welcome, bro. Glad to have you. And there are a lot of people will happily trade if you want to come, dude. We'll trade them, bro. We'll fucking quick. Boom, dude. We'll trade in a heartbeat. They don't like it here anyway. They would rather burn our flags. We'll trade them, bro. Please make it happen, dude. Let's trade up, dude. Please. Dude, Risky, thanks for the super chat. Thank you for the wedding gift, bro. Appreciate, dude. Good looking out. Rodam says only 5% of U.S. citizen men and women hold U.S. passport booklets. Dude, we'll happily trade. And these guys are still... We're still waiting for Donnie.
Every day, and I just long for it. And in America, it is so amazing. Oh, seriously, Americans, what have you done to me? I need to come back. End of October, back in America. I can't wait. It's really kerfuffled me, man. Coming home from America, it has kerfuffled me. I'm just going to put it out there. Once you have been traveling...
Beautiful Bill. Beautiful Bill. Here, who would we trade Chuck Schumer for him? Yes. Would we trade Gavin Newsom for him? Yeah. In a heartbeat, dude. Heartbeat, bro. In a quick, dude, how about Ilhan Omar? How many of you would rather have him than Ilhan Omar, bro? Oh my God, dude. I saved a bunch of these guys. One of my favorite ones is the Japanese guy. He goes, I love it. He goes, ah. Love that guy, bro. He's so good. The Japanese dude is so good. Where is he at, bro? Where's our Japanese dude? That guy is so awesome. Let's see, where's Trump? Not yet. Still music. It says the European mind cannot comprehend. Look. Oh, so good, bro. Dutch fans road tripping. This guy, look.
America is so great.
If you guys have never traveled to Europe from America, okay? Oh, we got someone talking. Hold on.
Very little girl.
Okay, if you guys have not traveled to Europe from America and you've never seen this, you're not going to understand. They literally have limits on their air conditioning, and when it's really hot, you can't bring it down. Like, you hit the down button to like turn the AC on and it won't get cold enough. You literally paid whatever amount of dollars for a hotel room. Okay, I go to some nice hotel rooms, not gonna lie. And the air conditioning is locked. And they can't, it's by their policies are this way, not the hotel, the countries. You can't go down because they want to be carbon neutral and the climate is this and that. You don't get it, bro. You literally freaking pay for a hotel room only to get there and cook in your hotel room. And that's why this guy is going to say what he says.
I have found out why America is so great. And it is one thing and one thing only. L'air conditioning.
L'air conditioning. One thing only. L'air conditioning. I'm telling you, bro, it's a dude, you guys don't know how good you have it in America until you go there. And they don't know how amazing America is until they come here. I'm glad this World Cup happened the way it happened. Look, listen to this guy again.
I have found out why America is so great. And it is one thing and one thing only. L'air conditioning. It is the greatest thing I have ever experienced. It is hotter than Satan's butt crack out here. But what makes it bearable is the air conditioning. I believe you need to add a verse to your national anthem that talks about air conditioning. Americans are only scared of one thing, and that is being hot. But I love it. I love it. Is it something you have against being hot? Because the air conditioning, the ice in everything.
The air conditioning, the air conditioning. I love these guys coming over here. Oh man! All right, let's go.
His 250th to life for every member of the family. And you know, the celebration doesn't stop here. This birthday party will continue from sea to shining sea. In the coming days,
from sea to shining sea,
our nation will enjoy an iconic Mount Rushmore celebration, an international parade of majestic ships in New York, and of course, the biggest fireworks display of all time right here on July 4th. These events are so much more than just dates on a calendar. This is a moment that will inspire a new era of American greatness as we honor our extraordinary history, cherish our God-given freedoms, and look to the future with optimism, excitement, and yes, love of country. This movement, uniting our country to commemorate its 250th birthday, has no greater champion than President Donald J. Trump. None of this would have been possible without him and his tremendous leadership and vision to make this great celebration possible for all Americans. Now, we have a very special evening ahead as we launch the fair and pay tribute to all 56 states and territories with grandeur, ceremony, inspiration, and of course, fun. So please enjoy the sights and sounds of America's big birthday party on this absolutely gorgeous summer night, and welcome to the Great American State Fair.
L'air conditioning.
God bless you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Yeah, baby. From sea to shining sea, baby. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 55th United States Secretary of the Interior, Doug Burgum, and the 33rd United States Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins.
Good evening, America. Are you ready for a celebration? What do you think about this Marine band that's been playing so far? Aren't they fantastic? Let's give it up for them.
Who is excited to celebrate 250 years of the greatest country in the history of the world?
Ilhan Omar.
Well, welcome everyone. My name is Brooke Rollins. I have the honor of a lifetime to be your Secretary of Agriculture, and I know I speak for our great Secretary of the Interior, Doug Burgum, when I say what an incredible honor it is to welcome you to this, the official kickoff of the Great American State Fair. Welcome, everyone. Americans from every corner of our country have gathered here tonight, from the wheat fields of Kansas to the deserts of Arizona, from the Gulf Coast of New England, from Alaska to Hawaii and everywhere in between. America is here. And there could be no more fitting place to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday than right now, right here at the Great American State Fair. Over the next 16 days, right here on the National Mall, Americans will experience something unlike any other country has seen in generations. That is a modern-day World's Fair, a celebration of the people, the traditions, the innovations, and the spirit that have made America the greatest nation on earth. More than 150 exhibits from the nation's states and territories will be on display. You'll enjoy music and movies and cultural performances and agricultural exhibits, family attractions, spectacular flyovers, and one of the most iconic sights in Washington this summer, a giant Ferris wheel rising above the National Mall.
What up, Elmo?
Over 2 centuries ago, state fairs began as harvest time agricultural showcases that helped promote American-made products as the nation grew more economically independent from Great Britain. Restricted trade surrounding the War of 1812 inspired rural New Englanders to exhibit their livestock, to exhibit their produce and handicrafts in lively competitions, spotlighting the best of Republican localism and agrarian self-governance, the very best of America. And for the next 2 weeks, the very best of America is gathered right here in Washington, D.C. Every state has a story to tell. Every state has heroes to honor. Every state has traditions worth celebrating. But most importantly, every state is part of one family, one people, and one nation under God. Tonight, tomorrow, and for the next 2 weeks, we will be celebrating all of our states. We celebrate our communities, and above all, we celebrate the ties that bind us together as the United States of America. Doug, you have had a front row seat to so much of the incredible Freedom 250 celebrations taking place across this great country. Tell us a little bit about what America has in store over the coming weeks and months.
Well, thank you, Brooke, and what an amazing Secretary of Agriculture we have, best ever right here. Thank you, Brooke, for you and your team, everything you've done to make this fair possible. Incredible, great work. But Brooke, what strikes me is the sheer scale of what we're celebrating across our entire nation and how we're celebrating. For a quarter of a millennia, 250 years, we've been building, exploring, inventing, farming, ranching, serving, but most of all, dreaming big and daring greatly. And this year, we're celebrating that story in some of the most treasured places in our nation, including right here on the National Mall, an iconic spot that the National Park Service has stewarded for generations. We kicked off our 250th celebration right here with an incredible light show like we've never seen before, illuminating the Washington Monument on all four sides in an emotional retelling of the amazing history of America. We've got freedom trucks that are driving across our country, bringing mobile museums to small towns and cities across the United States. And in just a few days, President Trump will join Americans from across the country in my home state, in North Dakota, in the Badlands, for the grand opening of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library at the...
What do you think, guys? Should I get one of those little things too right here? I thought about it. I don't even know what you call them. The little, you know, the thing that he has right there on his shirt. That little silver with the little things going down. I like ties, but these look pretty comfy and chill too.
Becoming the only president to ever win the Medal of Honor in military service, he understood that Americans are capable of extraordinary things when they refuse to settle and they choose to dare greatly. That is the spirit that built America. It's the spirit that carved homes out of the wilderness, built towering cities, won wars to defend our freedoms and the freedoms of this world, and carried our nation from 13 little colonies to the greatest republic in the history of the world.
Yeah, a bolo tie, string tie. Yeah, bolo, YOLO bolo. Yeah, bro. Yeah, maybe I should get a little bolo, huh? What do you think? Does that suit me better than a tie? Ties are a little uptight, huh? Yeah, I don't know.
Look out across the American landscape, where fireworks will again light up the sky on the eve of our 250th anniversary. And here in Washington, we're making D.C. safe and beautiful, revitalizing this capital city to reflect the greatness of the American people. President Trump, with his leadership, has said we want to make our capital not only, if it's the greatest country in the world, that this ought to be the most beautiful and the most safe capital in the world, and we're doing that under his leadership. We're restoring monuments, improving public spaces, bringing fountains back to life, and preparing America's front yard to welcome visitors from across the nation and around the world. And because the capital of the greatest republic in human history, it should be worthy of you, the people that are represented here. And in just a few days, Americans will gather right here once again for an unforgettable 4th of July celebration, including the biggest and grandest display our nation and the world has ever seen. From coast to coast, Americans are coming together to celebrate 250 years of freedom. And that's what makes this such an incredible moment.
Well, really, that's exactly right, Doug Burgum. How about a big round of applause for our great Secretary of the Interior? And you're right, Doug, when you walk around Washington, D.C., not only is it safe again, but it is beautiful again. Thank you, President Trump, and thank you, Secretary Burgum.
Thank you, President Trump. Where you at, bro? Come on, let's go.
For all our differences, there are still some things that unite, or at least should unite, every American. A love of country, pride in our heritage, gratitude for those who came before us, and especially those who gave it all and died for the freedom that has made tonight possible. God bless all of our veterans, our soldiers, and those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for this 250th year of freedom in the United States of America. USA. We have a determination to leave this nation stronger for our children and our grandchildren.
Yes, that's the American story, and it's still being written. And as Brooke gave a shout out to our incredible military, I want to give a shout out to an amazing group. Founded in 1791 by George Washington himself, the group that has the law enforcement responsibility for these monuments, the Statue of Liberty, the Golden Gate Recreation Area, none other than our very own United States Park Police. They're here tonight. They're keeping you safe. Let's give it up for all those U.S. Park Police, all the Secret Service that are here tonight, all of our law enforcement. For 250 years, Americans have crossed oceans, settled frontiers, built communities, raised families, defended liberty, and through innovation, not regulation, through innovation, they've created enormous prosperity, making us the most abundant and richest country in the world.
And now, today, next week, July 4th, 2026, it falls to us to carry that story forward. America is a vast, a beautiful, and abundant country, but it's up to all of us to preserve this great inheritance, to strengthen it, to celebrate it, and to pass it on by the grace of Almighty God.
As we close, we want to again share our gratitude with all of you that are here and all of you that are watching. Because if you're here tonight, it means one thing. It means that you care about this country. You care about its future. You care about your children and your children's children. And you care about the fact that we have things to celebrate in each of our 50 states, in each of our amazing 6 territories. So if you're here in person, enjoy the American State Fair. If you are not here, you've got 16 days to get here to see this incredible, amazing celebration of America. So join us as we honor these 250 years of American greatness. And with your help, we begin writing the next chapter of the great American story.
What happened to my screen, bro? I went up to get my food, and my screen just tripped out. Let's see. There we go. There we go. There's the flag.
56 states and territories. Please welcome the United States Ceremonial Flag Unit, accompanied by the President's own United States Marine Band.
More music that I can't play. Here, check it out. This is Miss Medicaid. She ordered some food. I got some Persian. Skewered kebab and chicken, dude. Looking good, looking good. If they're gonna knock me for that music, I'm down with it. I don't care. I'll take that. That's literally our song.
When we see your glory flying, there's a lot of men. Sucker punch came flying in from somewhere in the back.
Man, Miss Medication ordered me some food and she saved me, dude. Holy cow, I was so hungry. Got some good Persian kebab, some chicken, and some beef. Risky is from California too. Dude, you're in Long Beach. I'm over here, bro, in Orange County. What up, dude? As soon as they're done, I think we should have Trump up any second. He was supposed to be on at 7 Eastern, which is 4 o'clock my time. That was 30 minutes ago. So we'll see. Yep. I don't know who's singing. Let me see if I could. Oh, here we go. If Risky, let us know what bar, bro. Curious if I've been to it. I mean, you don't have to. If you don't want to tell no one, bro. I totally understand. Redame says, a minute of silence for the 14 Air Force servicemen killed in the takeoff of the B-2 from Edwards last week. That was the flyover. And that was a minute of silence, buddy. That is unfortunate, dude. That is so horrible. That's Trump with a shaved head. Dude looks good even with a shaved head.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we pause to reflect on the blessings of liberty and faith that has guided our nation throughout its history, to deliver tonight's spiritual invocation, please welcome Pastor Jettison Franklin.
Being from eastern North Carolina, as a child, I was raised near Fort Bragg, that is now Fort Liberty. And when I heard that jet fly over, I immediately went back to my childhood when they used to have around the airplane base there signs on the interstate that said, "Pardon the noise, it's the sound of freedom."
I love it.
Can you make some noise for the greatest nation on the planet? In God
baby.
we trust.
Hell yeah.
If you would stand to your feet, we're going to pray, and this is going to be the greatest celebration in 250 years of liberty and freedom. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 25 and verse 10, the Bible says, "Proclaim liberty throughout all the land, and to the inhabitants thereof." God let us know in that scripture that liberty and freedom are His gift to us that are born and raised and live and get to come and become citizens of the United States of America, the greatest country in the world. And I'm going to ask you to do what our forefathers did, like George Washington, when he kneeled in the snow and prayed with the troops, like the Pilgrims at Plymouth Rock when they bowed down and prayed at the very beginning days of the birth of this nation. God breathed life into this nation, and He's not done yet. And we're here to acknowledge again that God is still real. He loves this nation, and He hears and answers prayer. Would you pray with me for America? Lord, we come again on this 250th birthday, and we thank You for this nation. We thank You, oh God, for Your faithfulness throughout all the generations. And we thank You because You have brought us to this moment for such a time as this. Please breathe on America again. Lord, let Your grace begin to cover this nation like never before. We thank You, oh God, for freedom of religion. We thank You that all religions have a right to worship as they desire. But we also thank You for our Christian roots, oh God, in this nation. And we thank You for the cross. And we thank You for the Word of God. And we thank You for freedom. So bless this nation and let Your grace flow from sea to shining sea. Oh God, we thank You that Your grace is sufficient for every challenge. Touch our president, touch his cabinet, bless our Supreme Court, bless our Congress, and bless our Senate. And Lord, I pray Thy kingdom come and Thy will be done. Bless our young people, bless our children and our children's children. And lastly, oh God,
we ask you to send revival to the churches across America until there is a proclamation. Let freedom ring from addiction, from fear, from anxiety, and from shame and guilt because of what you have provided through grace and through your salvation. In your mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Performing the timeless and inspiring Hallelujah, followed by a powerful rendition of Ave Maria, accompanied by the President's own United States Marine Band. Please welcome Master Gunnery Sergeant Kevin Benier and America's presidential tenor, Christopher Macchio.
I think they're going to be playing music and doing some things for quite a while, of which obviously I can't play the music, but we're trying to wait for Trump to come talk live, and I think it's going to be a minute. I may have to call it a day for now.
Your faith was strong, you needed proof.
Guys, I think I'm going to have to call it, unfortunately. But Trump will be live. You guys can catch it on the White House channel if you want to look it up. But I'm going to let you guys go. I have to get going, unfortunately. And I will catch you guys on the next stream. Thank you for coming, guys. Good to see everyone that came in today. Thank you, everyone, for that just subscribed today. Glad to have you. Glad to have you join. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to do that now, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Love you guys. God bless America. Dude, we live in the greatest country in the world. We represent America. You and I. We represent America. And that's why I rep America, baby. Thank you, guys. Good to see you. See you soon. Bye.